Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Judge Bell. This is Astrid. I'm going to be your interpreter today. I'm well. How about yourself? Well, Your Honor, for Osceola, they don't usually pull them out of order, which is fine because I'm still going to stick around for Orange. So for Orange, they usually go ahead and pull them together. So I'll be on standby for whenever you're ready to start Osceola.
Osceola County.
Good morning, Judge. My name's
Oh,
Javier
I can't
Chavez.
hear you, sir.
My name's Javier Chavez with the Public Defender's Office.
I'm sorry, but I cannot hear you.
Judge, can you still not hear me?
Wait a minute, they're turning up the volume here, and perhaps that'll help.
He was talking to the mic. He does not.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Barely, and I have pretty good hearing. What do we do? They
My
have to
name's
adjust
Javier
their mic.
Chavez. I'm with the Public Defender's Office.
All that I'm aware of is that the public defender's office is there. That's just not enough for me to conduct these proceedings.
Okay, Judge. I'll have Seal look at the equipment. I'm not from Kissimmee, so I don't know how the equipment works.
Should I begin with Orange and call them later?
Can you hear me now, Judge?
Barely.
Can
If you would
can
like, I can have you call your IT people and I can begin with Orange County, but we really need to get going this morning.
Hello? Okay, Judge, can you hear me now? Is this clear?
Barely.
I don't know why.
Do you want to contact your IT department and I'll begin with Orange County?
Okay, Judge.
Is it okay? All right, let me hit stop. right, good morning. I'm Judge Bell. You're here for initial appearances. This proceeding is being recorded. For the record, would the attorneys please announce their names?
Paul William McBride on behalf of the state of Florida.
Could barely hear you.
Paul William McBride on behalf of the state of Florida.
Courtney Daly on the behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Okay. And-
Menso on behalf of Neil Hardial, Hardial.
Okay. If you want to announce your name, fine. If,
I mean, I would just wait till my client's.
all right, that's fine. Public Defender, did you have an opportunity to review the charging documents?
For all of these cases?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because in my review, I found probable cause, but if you have anything that you want me to revisit, you'll let me know.
Thank you.
Okay, want to call the first case?
Are we using the headsets? Or?
All right, Angel Diaz Suarez. He's moved? Oh, okay.
What is his charge? No, not for me. No. I'm not gonna touch it now. The only ones that I'm permitted to. Like, and even then specific ones. Not that.
It's up to you, but since this track is so big.
Your Honor. Your Honor, this is Astrid, the interpreter again. I Your Honor, there's no, that's fine. I just wanted to inform you that I did call AV to notify them that there's an issue with the connection with Osceola. And so they're looking into it, okay? You're welcome, Your Honor.
Right. All right. Interpreter, have you been sworn in?
I have not, Your Honor.
Do you swear to translate from English, Spanish to English testimonies given?
I do. Astrid Rodriguez, certified Spanish interpreter.
All right, sir, would you please state your name for the record?
¿Cómo? Angel Díaz Suárez.
Angel Diaz Suarez.
All right. Sir, you have been charged with the following, but you're currently out on probation for possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia in case number 19 CF 8964. I'm revoking and forfeiting your bonds in those cases. I'm issuing no bond at this time. On the new charge is driving while license suspended with minimum of 2 prior convictions. I find probable cause, bond is set at $2,500. Are you requesting the assistance of a public defender?
Sí. ¿Que no tengo fianza?
Yes.
All right, the public defender is appointed to represent you. That's all we're going to do for today.
Your Honor, what was the bond on the attached tag?
Yeah, there's another one. Attaching a tag
no tengo fianza.
to a vehicle not assigned, bond is $250.
Ahí tengo fianza. ¿Cuánto sale? No sabe.
All right, so that's all we're going to do for today.
I
Thank
do have
you.
a bond.
Yes, sir, it was announced. That's all we're going to do for today. Thank you very much. Good luck.
¿Te fijó la fianza?
All right, sir. You might need to adjust your microphone a little bit, but would you please announce your name for the record, sir?
Rudy Monzón Orozco. Rudy Monzón Orozco.
Your Honor, I was instructing the defendant to please adjust his headset so I could hear him clearly.
All right. Sir, can you hear the interpreter?
Monzón Orozco.
Efraín Monzón Orozco.
¿Cómo se llama?
Sir, can you please give me your name for the record?
Rudy Efraín Monzón Orozco.
Rudy Efraín Monzón Orozco.
All right, sir, let me tell you why you are here. You have 2 cases of failure to appear and 1 new charge. You failed to appear in case number 2016 CT 10266, DUI with property damage, and the bond amount is set at $2,000. You have a failure to appear in 2016 CT 10267 AO. The charge is operating a motor vehicle without having a valid license. The bond amount is set at $100. Your new charge is possession of cocaine. And as indicated earlier, I have found probable cause in all these cases. The bond is set in this case at $1,000. Sir, do you need the assistance of a public defender? I don't have an affidavit, so.
Yes.
All right. Sir, do you have any income?
No. Sí.
Yes.
Can you give me an idea of how much your income is?
A la semana $500.
$500 per week.
Madam Clerk, is he eligible? Are you on any child support orders or currently with any dependents?
You don't have kids?
No.
Okay.
No.
He has the PD on the initial charges, but on the new charge, you're not being appointed. Okay. Not eligible. Is this the same gentleman?
Okay.
Okay. Sir, would you please give me your name?
Jorge Luis Suarez.
All right, Mr. Suarez. You have been charged with the following: fraudulent use of personal identification, uttering a counterfeit credit card, scheme to defraud, petty theft. Bonds on those cases are set at $1,000, count 2, $150, count 3, $100, count 4, $100. I find probable cause. However, you are currently out on bond for failure to, and for failure to appear on driving under the influence and operating a motor vehicle without having a valid driver's license, and those bonds are being revoked and set at no bond at this time. For your new case, do you need the services of the public defender?
Do I have bond on the new cases?
On the new case, yes. On the old cases, it's revoked. My only question to you, sir, is are you requesting, because you did not provide me a financial affidavit, are you seeking the services of a public defender?
Yes, I'm disabled.
Do you have any income at all, sir?
Social Security.
All right, sir, how much is your Social Security?
706.
All right, sir, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you.
Yes.
All right, sir. That's all we're going to do for today. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sir.
Sir, you might have to adjust that microphone just a little bit better. The headphones and the mic. All right, sir, could you please announce your name for the record?
Raul Velas Martinez.
All right, Mr. Martinez, let me tell you why you're currently being held. There is an out-of-county warrant on a charge of fighting and baiting animals. Bond is set at $2,000. If you're not able to post your bond, they will come and pick you up. It is Orange County? Where? Okay. Yes, it is Orange County. Why does it say out-of-county warrant? It says out-of-county warrant. Okay, it says out-of-county warrant, but it's actually an Orange County warrant. Bond is set at $2,000. That's all we're going to do for today.
Public defender appointed.
I don't have a financial form.
Do you have any income?
No.
Sir, are you seeking the assistance of a public defender to represent you? Your case has been charged as a felony.
Yeah.
All right, the public defender is appointed to represent you, sir. Good luck. All right, sir, could you please announce your name for me?
Bernice Morales.
John Bernice Morales.
Mr. Morales, you've been charged with driving while license suspended with your knowledge. I find probable cause. Bond is set at $500. Are you seeking the services of a public defender, sir?
Bien.
I didn't understand that too well.
Sir, you were charged with driving while license is suspended with your knowledge. The bond is set at $500. And I was asking you if you're going to hire your own attorney or if you want me to evaluate you for the services of the public defender.
Yo llamé a un amigo mío y viene a fiarme.
I called a friend and he's coming to bond me out.
Okay, but sir, are you going to hire a lawyer or do you want me to evaluate you for the services of the public defender?
Un defensor público, sí. Un
Public defender, yes.
All right, sir, I need to know if you have any income, sir.
Ahora mismo vine para este estado a buscar trabajo y pagué $3,000 antier de las multas que tenía y creía que me iban a dar la licencia, que no iba a tener más problemas y me pasó esta situación.
Not currently.
All
Not
right.
currently. I moved here recently from another state, and I was paying off some fines.
Okay, sir, I will appoint the public defender to represent you, okay? All right, good luck, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christopher Day, and I'm here. I have mental problems.
Wait a minute, I don't have, what happened to David Allen?
He refused, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, do you want to set him for tomorrow? He refused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Day, let me see what I have on your cases, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a mental health patient, and I'm arrested again. I don't know why I'm here. I blacked out, and I'm in a jail cell when I wake up.
Mr. Day.
How?
Mr. Day, sir, it's in your best interest not to say anything. You're being recorded. I'm going to tell you why you're here, okay?
I feel like killing myself in that small room. They have me
All
in a
right.
psych ward.
All
I
right,
can't
sir.
live like this.
Sir, take a deep breath. I'm going to tell you why
I
you're here.
didn't have my pills. I didn't have my pills, and then I got them. When I got them, I got back normal. Now I'm scared.
All right, Mr. Day, let me tell you why
What?
you're here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And let me tell you everything that I have in front of me that I have been able to see.
Do I have to stay on the psych ward in that small room?
Sir, I have nothing to do with the accommodations.
Well,
All
can
I
you release me to the psychotic hospital? Because I asked to get Baker Act, but he said that I hurt him. I didn't hurt the officer. I didn't put the hands on him. I did
All right,
nothing wrong.
sir. I need you to let me speak, okay? This is not, that this is, all this is an initial appearance today, and it's to tell you why you're here and see if you need a lawyer. Sir, I need you to please listen to me, okay?
It's not fair.
All
Fair
right,
for me
sir,
or my
you're
people.
here for 2 counts of violation of probation. The first one is case number 2018 CF 2844A. The second case, it says it's a Seminole County case.
God has saved me. God will save him. Well, God, this is the wrong people. Why didn't you ask me my name?
He did. She did.
Where? Who asked?
Mr. Day,
You know me? Hey, don't you watch me.
Mr. Day, you've also been charged with,
What? Who are you? Hey, I don't mind. Take him. What? Don't you carry him, Mama? My God.
I guess we'll reset Mr. Day until tomorrow?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm appointing the public defender to represent Mr. Day. All right, would you please state your name for the record?
My name is Shanita Hannah Marie Woods.
Okay, the next case I had was Joseph Villaras.
He bonded, Your Honor.
He's bonded. Let me go ahead and give you this one over here. All right, I'm sorry, would you repeat your name again?
Shanita Hannah Marie Woods.
All right, Mrs. Woods, what I have in front of me is that you failed to appear in Division 83 on a charge possession of drug paraphernalia, and the judge has set the bond amount at $250.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have filled out a financial affidavit for the public defender to represent you, and I will approve that. I do find that, of course, there's probable cause to support this arrest, and the public defender is appointed to represent you, and good luck.
There you go.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
So I don't know how long I have to stay in jail.
So you can bond out.
All right. Would you please state your name for the record?
Stephanie Jones.
Stephanie Jones. Is there anybody sitting in the room next door that has any involvement with Mrs. Jones? The charge is battery. I do find probable cause. Bond is set at $500. And I would also indicate no return and no contact. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. That's all we're going to do for today.
Thank you.
This is the case that they've asked me to go ahead and do the RO. Is the order attached? You just want me to read it on the record? Okay.
Robert Janice, is that you?
In regard to Keena Bracy, it says George Janice. Do I have the wrong name?
It's Robert George Janice. Yes,
Robert George Janice. Go ahead and issue an ROR.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just a note, okay. Good morning, sir. Would you please tell me your name?
Good morning, ma'am. Jeffrey Wayne Finley.
I'm sorry, sir, I couldn't hear you.
Jeffrey Wayne Finley.
Mr. Finley, you were charged with open container and bond was set at $250. You were already out on open container and you violated the terms of release on open container, sir. Do you want to be appointed the services of the public defender?
No, ma'am, I just plead no contest.
Has the state made any offer in these cases?
I've not, Your Honor, although I can make one in a case like this, it's no problem.
Okay, he has the two cases, the one of them is 19 MO 11. Well, there's a failure to appear on 11. I think that's a mistake. I think the failure to appear on 1130, and then the new one is 1190.
I don't see the past one, Judge, although I do see
Well,
he's
here
had
it is.
a number of them.
He got out ROR on one,
Right.
and he's got a new one.
They're both open containers.
Yeah, no, I understand. The state's offer would be 5 days adjudication on both. He has a lot of other history, some of it's serious felony history, so the state's offer would be 5 days to resolve both adjudications on each.
He wants to accept the state's offer.
All right. All right, the offer for Mr. Finley is going to be 5 days, run concurrent. I don't know if he has any time on the first one. And then the applicable costs. Mr. Finley, in case number 2019 MO 1130 AO and 2019 MO 1190 AO, both charges are alcoholic beverages, open container. Sir, how do you wish to plea or answer?
I plead no contest.
All right. Mr. Finley, do you understand by entering a no contest plea today that you're waiving all the constitutional rights set forth on your plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, is this your signature on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign this of your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody force you or threaten you?
No, ma'am.
And sir, do you understand that among the rights you're giving up today, you're giving up your right to challenge any evidence that the state has against you?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand you're giving up your right to have a full trial in both cases and make the state prove these charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand you're being adjudicated guilty and an adjudication of guilt means a conviction?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, do you understand you're giving up your right to appeal any harmful error?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, that your plea will subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I need to know if you're under the influence today of alcohol, drugs, or medications.
Sometimes.
Pardon me, sir?
Sometimes, ma'am.
Are you right now under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No, ma'am.
Are you being treated for anything that's mental or emotional?
No, ma'am.
Sir, are you on probation for anything that's criminal?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you wanted her to do on your behalf?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about the rights you're waiving or your penalties?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I accept your no contest plea. I find that you freely, voluntarily, and intelligently have waived your rights. You're knowingly entering the plea. You do understand the nature of the charges and the consequences. After reviewing the charging documents, I find a factual basis and sentence you accordingly. Case number 19-MO-1190, alcoholic beverages, open container, courts adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you as follows: 5 days, Orange County Jail. Clerk will give you credit for however many you may have at this point in time. In addition, there'll be a $50 public defender lien, a $50 prosecution lien. What do the court costs, Madam Clerk, 223? 223. Case number 1130, same charge, alcoholic beverages, open container, court adjudicates you guilty, sentences you as follows: 5 days Orange County Jail, running concurrent with 1190, credit for any time you've served, $50 public defender lien, $50 prosecution lien, 223 in court costs. You'll be placed on a payment plan that will start in 90 days, and the payment plan will be $15 per month, plus a $5 monitoring fee. It's 30 per month, but 15 towards each case. Sir, you're going to have your fingerprints taken if they haven't already been. You're going to get paperwork, and after you finish the 5-day sentence, you'll be released.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? Does Mr. Green need an interpreter?
I think this is for hearing.
Mr. Green, can you hear me?
Yeah, no.
Try again.
I got it.
All right, sir, would you please state your name for the record?
My name Arthur Lee Green Jr.
All right, Mr. Green, you were charged with alcoholic beverages, open container, bond is set at $250. I do find probable cause. Were you also seeking an offer from the state?
Yes, ma'am.
The state's offer would be the same as the last case, Judge, 5 days in light of his record.
The state's offer is 5 days, sir. Do you wish to accept the offer, or do you wish to proceed to trial, sir?
I will accept offers.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you on probation?
no, ma'am.
Okay. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Huh? You have to talk through the thing. I can't.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
No.
What you say? I can't hear you.
How about I ask the question?
Thank you.
I can't hear you. I hear her because she's talking through the system.
Can I have a plea form, please?
He's got it right here.
Mr. Green, sir, I'm going to ask you some
Yes,
questions.
ma'am.
To the charge of alcoholic beverage, open container, how do you plea or answer?
I plead no contest.
And Mr. Green, do you understand by entering a no contest plea today that you're waiving all the constitutional rights on your plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, the signature that I just saw you write on this plea form, is it yours?
Say that again?
Is this signature yours?
Yes, it is.
All right, did you sign this freely?
Yes, it is. Yes, I do.
Did anybody force you or threaten you to sign this?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that among the rights you're giving up today, sir, you're giving up your right to challenge any evidence that the state has against you?
I can understand it. Say that again.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to
Yes,
challenge
ma'am.
the state's evidence?
I got you. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand you're giving up your right to have a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand, sir, you're being adjudicated guilty? That means convicted of this charge.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand, sir, if you're not a citizen, you will be subject to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to know if you're under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or medicine.
No, ma'am.
Are you being treated for mental or emotional difficulties?
No.
Are you on probation for anything that's criminal?
No.
You satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you wanted her to do for you?
No. Let me go home.
Well, she's working on it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me about the rights you're waiving or your penalties?
I understand.
All right, sir. I accept your no contest plea. I find that you freely, voluntarily, and intelligently have waived your rights. You're knowingly entering the plea. You do understand the nature of the charge and the consequences. After reviewing the charging documents, I find a factual basis and sentence you accordingly. To the charge of alcoholic beverages, open container, courts adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you as follows. 5 days Orange County Jail with credit for any time you've served, $50 public defender lien, $50 prosecution lien, $223 in court costs. Sir, as soon as you finish your sentence, you'll be released. I'm putting you on a payment plan which will begin in 90 days of $30 per month, sir. All right, sir.
Thank you.
Probably one.
One,
You got two.
two.
Yeah.
All right, come on up, please, sir. Sir, please tell me who you are.
Frederick Elson.
The next person I had was Geraldo Baption, Baptichon. Oh, okay, let me put that over here.
Do we have a Creole interpreter, or are we resetting? Oh, okay.
All right, did you say Frederick Elson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Elson, let me tell you why you're here today. You're here for a violation of probation where you were placed on probation for an underlying charge of petty theft with reference to there being prior convictions. Your judge indicated no bond. I will go ahead and give you a bond of $850. I will schedule you for a VOP hearing in front of your judge. Do you need to have an attorney appointed to represent you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any income at this time, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'll appoint the public defender. There'll be a VOP hearing in Division 85. If you miss anything, I try to make a little note.
She's your judge, you're not getting.
Well, I can ask you your name, but we are familiar. Would you please tell me who you are?
I'm David Curse.
Mr. Kersey, you were charged with violating probation. You were placed on probation by me for a charge of battery domestic violence. And the violation of probation indicates that you absconded without telling your probation officer, that you didn't pay any costs of supervision, that you tested positive for marijuana, that you failed to complete your substance abuse evaluation, and you're not participating in collections court. Do you want me to appoint a public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give you another bond, but I'm going to give you a bond of $500. In addition, you're to be on face-to-face PTR twice a week, and you will be randomly tested for alcohol and/or drugs. You violate, we're going to have a problem.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, a VOP hearing's to be set in front of me.
Your Honor, he also has a writ of attachment that he won't be released today. It's a no bond.
I didn't know about that one. For me, $500 twice a week, face-to-face PTR with random UAs, no alcohol or drug abuse, no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, but I've just been notified that there's something else holding him that I was unaware of.
Okay.
Okay.
He just won't be able to post bond then. That's fine.
All right, sir, that's all we're going to do for today. And sir, would you please tell me who you are?
Harry Masterson.
All right, and somebody is here on behalf of Mr. Masterson. Mr. Masterson, you were charged with battery by strangulation. This was against your sister. I do find probable cause. I know that she is here. We will take some testimony.
Hello.
Let me have you sworn in, okay,
Raise
ma'am?
your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Madison Masterson.
All right. Madison, even though I know, what is your relationship to Perry Masterson?
He's my younger brother.
Okay. And you are the victim in this case. What is
Yes.
it that you want the court to know?
I believe that this was a big misunderstanding. Me and my brother, I am not scared of my brother in any way. We have a very good relationship. We did have a fight, and I called the police hoping that they would have a stern talk with him to make sure that he didn't do things in the future. I was heard that on the case it said that he strangled me for 2 minutes, but I never...
Well, it said you were placed in a chokehold.
Yes, he
And
pulled-
that's not like a mistake.
No, so I threw a juice box at him and was pushing him, so he retaliated by pushing my shoulder and bringing me to the ground. He did not forcefully choke me or try to stop my breathing in any way. It was more of a retaliation to what I was doing. I do understand that it was still wrong, but I don't believe that he was trying to inflict pain or harm on me in any way.
Okay, will you do me a favor?
Yes, ma'am.
If I was to release him, if anything happens, will you contact the police immediately?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a promise.
That is a promise.
All right, I'm going to put you on face-to-face PTR once a week. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. There's to be no hostile contact. I hear anything, you're in my division. You will hear what will happen to you.
Actually, he's not, Judge.
Yeah,
It's a felony.
felony.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Maybe it'll be in your division.
It won't bode well, let's put it that way. So,
I do want to say as well, he is a student at the University of Florida. He has had over a 4.0 GPA. He's never been in any trouble before. He is a very, very good kid, and he's trying to make his future the best he can. He's trying to go to medical school. So
you sound like a sister who loves her brother.
I do very
But
much.
I'm worried about you.
I will admit that both of us have been fighting. It wasn't only him. This time it was, but
Okay, but you know, I'm looking at both of you. I'm looking at your your sizes, your weights. There's a very obvious difference in him being a male and you're being a female, okay?
yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
also do want to put out there that he does have a mental disorder and had just started new medication the day before this incident. So
What was the medication?
I don't know. He might know the answer to that.
I don't. I just got prescribed yesterday.
All right.
He had just started it and it was
You
making
might
his heart
want to
race.
be reevaluated on medicines. First of all, take 3 or 4 weeks to
Yes,
work.
ma'am.
But not every medicine is always the right one. It may
Agreed.
take several to find the right one, so please work on this, okay? All right.
Your Honor, just I'm Paul McBride on behalf of the state. For the record, the state would object to there not being a full no contact, especially in light of the details we're learning about his medication. I understand.
I
the
am
court's
also
already-
in medication and also have a
Ma'am,
mental
ma'am,
disorder.
that's all right. I've made my ruling. Once a week, face-to-face PTR. No hostile contact. Can I have your name, please?
Daytwan Tate.
All right, Mr. Tate, the clerk's indicated you don't qualify for the services of a public defender, but let me tell you why you're here. You failed to appear on 2 matters, 2 felony matters, and there is no bond at this time. That's why you're here at this time, but you will need to seek your own attorney. The underlying charges were aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery with a prior battery charge. That's all we're going to do for today, sir. Good luck. Who's next? Sir, would you state your name for the record?
Devontae Turner.
All right, Mr. Turner, you're here because a warrant was signed by Judge Starr charging you the following: stalking, dating violence, written threats to kill or do bodily harm, and criminal mischief. I do find that there's probable cause to support your arrest. Check financial affidavit. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. And ma'am, who are you?
Cartesia Epps.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Cartesia Epps.
Okay, you're going to be sworn in, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, and ma'am, since I've read the file, I know that you're the victim that's alleged in these cases. What do you wish me to know?
I'm scared of him. I really don't want him out of jail because I feel like he's going to do something to me, and I don't want any contact. I have an injunction, but I really feel that's not going to stop him from bothering me. He has came to my house. I have 4 small children, and I'm scared.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Again, pursuant to the arrest affidavit, the stalking, dating violence has no bonds. The written threats to kill or do bodily harm have no bond. The criminal mischief has a bond of $500.
Your Honor, those are non-punishable by life or capital offenses. You can set bond at IA on this. This was an affidavit to issue a warrant. So at this point, he's entitled to a bond until he sees the, he doesn't get a bond until he sees the IA judge, which is you, and you should set a bond because he's entitled to a bond.
Anything from the state?
Your Honor, that's my understanding as well. Based on these charges, the state would just request a bond that's reflective of the charges and reflective of the victim's fear and fear for her children as well.
Okay. Count one, $10,000, face-to-face PTR 3 times a week.
Dangerous crime.
All right, so no no, I wanted it in addition. Okay, $10,000, no contact. Count 2, $5,000, no contact. Count 3, $500.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your bond. No, with a no contact order. 10,000, 5,000, 500. Okay. Can I have your name, please?
Natasha Connor.
Very hard to hear. Did you say Mrs. Connor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anybody in the room?
This is her
They
victim
were
right
both
here.
arrested together.
All right. Are you Oscar?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I read the affidavits, and I do find probable cause, and I want to know what's going on with the two of you.
Your Honor, may I be heard on probable cause?
Yes.
I'd like to challenge probable cause because neither of them admitted it to being unconsensual touching. Both of them said it was consensual. Therefore, there's no probable cause for a battery.
She's addressing both Natasha Connor and Oscar Cruz Garcia. I don't feel the same way you do, counsel. That doesn't mean that I'm not, that I'm opposed to any kind of bond. I don't want any alcohol consumption. And I do not want any contact at this time.
Okay.
Face-to-face PTR, both people?
She qualifies, he does not qualify. He's also here on a failure to appear, and he has an ICE hold.
Okay, let me start with her. Mrs. Connor, I'm going to put you on face-to-face PTR, no contact with this gentleman, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
No alcohol or non-prescription medication, okay? face-to-face PTR, one time a week, no contact, no alcohol, no non-prescription drugs. This gentleman, for my case, I will make the same offer. I was unaware that there was anything else holding him at this time. Oh, wait a minute, there is a failure to appear on another case. But that one does have a bond. So, Mr. Garcia, you have a failure to appear on a possession of cannabis, but the bond has been set at $1,500. I was unaware, though, that there's yet another hold. So,
Would Your Honor set a $500 bond in the alternative? He has no criminal
you mean
history.
on the cannabis?
No, on the, on his new charge with you. He has no criminal history.
Okay, $500 bond, no alcohol, no non-prescription drugs, no contact. On the failure to appear, that bond's $1,500, and like I said, the third case I don't have in front of me.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right.
Minso on behalf of Neil Hardiel, Hardial.
Okay, Mr., well, one second. Would you please give me your name?
My name is Neil Hardiel.
All right, sir, you're here today because you were charged with battery dating violence. Is there anybody in the room there in regard to this gentleman?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, I'd like to request that he be released on ROR and returned to 1261 Blackwater Pond Drive. That is his parents' house. And if you look at the charging affidavit, the alleged victim, she refused to prosecute this.
Counsel, you're acting like that's a first time.
Yes, Your Honor, but it states on there that she refused to prosecute. And if you look at the timing as well, too, apparently she alleged that she arrived at his house at 8:30 in the morning. Police showed up at 8:38. It doesn't make sense that she called while she was there, stating the alleged incident happened, because I don't think the response time would have been 18 minutes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And she
I
alleged...
find probable cause. I will give you face-to-face PTR once a week. No drinking and no consumption of prescription medicines, and you're to have a separate residence from this woman. If she's not with your family members, then you can go there. But you're to have a separate residence and no contact with her.
Your Honor, just for the record, the alternative address that he provided is next door. Just want to make sure.
The alternative address he provided is next door to her?
Next door to the residence that they shared.
Your Honor, this is his parents' house at 1261. That's his parents' house, not her house. So
Where is she living?
apparently she lives with her sister somewhere else in Winter Park. So she doesn't reside there. In the charging affidavit, she said that she came there to collect her
I
personal
know
belongings.
she came to collect her belongings, but I'm telling you that he can have no contact with her. So if he's within 500 feet of her, you can file whatever motions you need to file. I'm saying no contact with me is no contact. If there's contact, I will have somebody go out and pick him up.
Yes, Your Honor.
So make sure before you go to your parents' house that she is not there. I'm going to assume she's not, but you need to make sure.
Yes, Your Honor. I called yesterday and nobody answered, so I don't believe she's there anymore.
Okay. So it's face-to-face PTR, once a week. No alcohol, no non-prescription medication, separate residence from the alleged victim, and no contact. That's all we're going to do for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, sir, would you please give me your name?
Scott Allen Hyatt.
Mr. Hyatt, you were charged with battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. I think somebody is in the box to be sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Angela Hyatt.
And what is your relationship to Mr. Hyatt?
He's my husband.
Okay, what is it that you want the court to know?
I want them to know that I'm not afraid of him. I want him home. And that last night, we both were drinking, and so I was getting loud, and he had a bad day at work, and we had an argument, and it really got taken the wrong way. Yeah, I want contact with him. I want him home.
Ma'am, would you promise me that if anything like this happens again, that you'll call the police immediately?
I promise.
Is he eligible for face-to-face PTR?
He does not qualify. He has high risk assessment.
Your Honor, the state would object to contact.
I want to hear the history. I didn't know he was high risk. I don't have that kind of information here.
I understand that, Your Honor. The most recent convictions that I can find for Mr. Hyatt show that he was convicted of, looks like 2 of 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, for which he served 48 months in the Department of Corrections. He was released last year. This is not his only criminal record, but in light of...
Who was the victim?
It's not a domestic-related dispute, Your Honor.
No, I want.
He indicates it happened at Walmart and it was not domestic, for whatever that's worth.
That's what I have as well, Your Honor. My point being, he does have a record of violence, and that is concerning for the state.
He has served his time over that. He's done really well.
Given the alleged victim's testimony, we just ask for no hostile contact. If the judge, if you want to impose more conditions of release, we would.
I want, he can't do PTR, huh?
He needs to be interviewed. He wasn't interviewed, but he does have a high risk assessment with past violent crimes.
Okay, but if I gave him a bond and said twice a week, face-to-face, to make sure that there's no alcohol or drug consumption,
You want to do bond and PTR?
could you do that?
Okay.
I mean, if you find that he doesn't meet your assessment criteria, just let me know. And no hostile contact, so it's gonna be twice, it's $500 plus twice a week, face-to-face PTR. No hostile contact. No alcohol consumption. No non-prescription drug use. You're gonna be tested. You mess up, you'll be there again.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the state would also request no weapons or firearms.
No weapons are fine, I'm assuming there's none in the home, is that correct?
No. No.
No weapons or firearms. Okay, I need your name, please.
Shelton Loman.
All right, sir, you've been charged with violating the pretrial conditions on a domestic violence case. You were currently out on bond for battery and resisting officer without violence in case number 19MM5204. I'm revoking that bond. There will be no bond in those cases at this time. On the new case, the violation of the pretrial release conditions on a domestic violence case, I'll oppose a bond of $1,000 with no contact.
Your Honor, he's already represented by RCC in the underlying case because we had a conflict with the alleged victim.
Okay.
So we asked you to appoint RCC to this case as well, since it's the same victim, so it would be the same conflict. Yes, I did. I'm looking it up. She just ordered no contact in this case, so you have to sign that.
And I will appoint the public defender, he's eligible. And on this one, the bonds are
Hang on. I think she's still addressing it. Or are you done? Okay. I thought you had something else to look up. Never mind.
Pardon me?
I thought you had one more thing to say to him, so, but you're good.
Sir, would you state your name for the record, please?
Jack Monroe III.
All right, Mr. Monroe, you were charged with battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. You're not eligible for the services of the public defender. The clerk already reviewed your affidavit, and somebody is here to speak.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Swear.
Please state your name for the record.
Victoria Monroe.
All right, Mrs. Monroe, what is your relationship to Jack Monroe?
He's my husband.
Okay, and I have read the affidavit. What is it that you'd like the court to know?
I do want contact.
Pardon me, ma'am?
I do want contact.
What has changed since this incident?
I'm sorry, from yesterday? Oh, stress, if anything. I honestly feel this is just a bad situation with anger, or with substance abuse at timings. It's not the first time, but, you know, I guess it was supposed to be where anger management classes were supposed to be taken, a course. So whenever that's in schedule.
I am concerned about the narrative. If I release you, it's going to be with a drug patch.
Me?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm.
What do you want? But just don't talk about facts, okay?
I'll set bond at $500 plus drug patch. No hostile contact. You will contact the police if there's any problems.
Yes.
Your Honor, he does qualify for PTR. Do you want that with PTR or just the $500 with drug testing?
Can PTR do the drug testing?
It'll be drug testing with PTR.
All right, I'll do twice a week PTR because I do believe there's a problem with the drug testing instead of the patch.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And sir, there better not be any further incidents, okay?
Yes.
Don't say anything. All right, I'll appoint you're not eligible for the public defender, but you will want to get an attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, $500, no hostile contact, twice a week PTR with drug testing.
Just PTR.
No, I have $500, no hostile contact, twice a week PTR with drug testing. I need your name, please.
Edward O'Neill.
All right, somebody's in the box. I have read the narrative. I do find probable cause.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Dana Adoligano,
All right, what is your relationship to Mr. O'Neill?
he's my boyfriend.
Okay. I did read the narrative. What is it that you want me to know?
I would like to have contact with him, and I feel safe, and I would like him to return home.
Dana, do you understand why I'd be concerned about this narrative?
Yes,
Is this the first time?
yes.
Would you promise me if anything further happens that you will contact the police?
Absolutely.
$500 plus once a week, face-to-face PTR, no hostile contact. If there's any hostile contact, sir, you don't want to see me, but you might.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Just for the record, the state would object based on the fact pattern.
I know, the fact pattern is not good. And you're sure you feel secure?
Yes.
No alcohol use, no non-prescription drug use, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're subject to random testing. No weapons in the house. Can't ask her to remove all the bookshelves, although I'd like to. In a couple of minutes, we will take a brief recess. When we do, if the clerk is able, she'll try to pull your two cases out. We've had a lot of things happen this morning. Can I have your name, please?
Tyler Payne.
All right, Mr. Payne, you were charged with battery, domestic violence against your mom. There's somebody here to talk. Let me,
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Karen A. Robinson.
all right, ma'am, what's your relationship?
That's my son.
Okay. What do you want me to know? This concerns me.
Tyler needs a mental evaluation. Tyler is not the same person or the same son that I know. Different days, different times, you getting a whole different personality. His anger is a lot toward me, which I'm not understanding. I've tried to talk to him to get him to tell me that he needs help. I've been calling different places, but he has to want the help. My concern is his behavior, his disposition with me. He's obsessed with, I create problems. I'm here as a mother. He just turned 24. I'm here for him, and I want him to know that. But I need help from you all to help me get a mental evaluation. Other than that, he's a son that you would love to have, but I get more of, I don't know who he is at times. He'll be okay for one moment, and in another hour or two, I'm dealing with someone that's talking and actions are crazy, where he put holes in walls, or he cut cords on the microwave or the blender, or he holes in a wall. All kind of crazy things are going on. And he'll jump back the next day, Ma, and I accept, the Ma.
Well, I don't want him to return to your home.
He has nowhere to go. The
Your Honor.
sister that he put down, she is not here. She's in Atlanta. And she's not coming back no time soon.
Your
What
Honor.
I'm asking for a mental evaluation, that he is forced to mental evaluation along with a drug test. That he mandated to take a drug test. That he's allowed that he can keep a job to do so. He gets the best of jobs, and then he gets around people that he's not even, is out of his norm, and all of a sudden, I have a son that at times he can talk to me so sweet, and in 30 minutes or an hour from now, he talking and he's not making, I don't even understand why he has that anger. He doesn't display it to other people, it's me. I could be walking out to go to work, and he'll ask me something, I'll try to, my ability to answer him. I've learned to just not be argumentative with him when he's in those states, because I'm walking away. I'm walking away for it not to have come to what it did yesterday. And on Monday, I was going to the courthouse because I did an exportate order on Tyler before, and they took him to Lakeside, kept him 3 days. They evaluated him, say he had severe depression. I do agree with that.
Juvenile.
But I get a different personality when he's on whatever he's taking. I've heard this meth, this Molly, they crushing it down. You're getting a different form of the drug. You're not taking it by mouth. They're actually smoking it, or they're crushing it down.
Your Honor, Florida statute requires in domestic violence situations that we report to the court any prior incidents that have been reported. In the Ninth Circuit, I have at least 4 other incidents that are recorded between these 2 individuals in which Mr. Payne was the listed defendant. I'm just making the court aware of that for the purposes of potential conditions of release.
I'm not going to allow him to go back to his mother's home.
No, I'm saying she doesn't know I have another address. I don't have to stay there. She's telling her I don't. I have an address I can stay at now. My mom never knows my whereabouts. I have 4 other
Well, I'm going to tell you,
addresses.
for right now, this is what we're going to do. I
Yes,
find
ma'am.
probable cause for this charge. You're to leave your mother alone.
Can I move? I actually have an address. I can
You
leave.
can't go back to her house?
I won't,
You can't have
ma'am.
any contact with
I
her?
won't. Our landlord
You
is
can't
an
have any
officer.
weapons?
I don't have any weapons.
I'm telling you, you're going to sign a no-contact order.
Okay.
In addition, twice a week, you're going to have face-to-face PTR, and you're going to be randomly checked for any drugs or alcohol use. There better not be either one. Or you will violate these terms, and you'll go back to jail till your trial comes up.
Your Honor, can we have a one-time return with law enforcement to gather his belongings to move?
The last time we tried that, the person showed up, if you recall, in our division without the law enforcement.
I do, but he's entitled to get his belongings.
Your Honor, can you set it at bond or PTR so that we can verify that alternate address that he has?
And I have another question.
You're saying bond or PTR?
Bond or PTR if qualified, so that we can verify
like
the
to do
address he's
both.
supposed. I'm sorry.
I'd like to do both.
Excuse me?
Because she's saying that he doesn't have alternate address.
He says he has an alternate address, not that you're aware of?
I don't know, we haven't talked, but I do have another question.
Okay.
If you're requiring all of this face-to-face, how is he gonna keep a job? On my job, if they gotta see they PTO that like that, they don't keep a job. We can't use them.
Mrs. Payne, he's not keeping a job as it is.
Only because of the drug use, ma'am.
Maybe we can get this straightened out.
Okay, I do agree with you on that.
We'll try to assist however we can, but the ultimate thing is unless a person perceives a need to change, they never change.
I understand that, but everybody deserves a new day, and I do believe
right.
in a new day. I also asked for a mental evaluation. That was the reason why I showed up here
I
today.
don't believe I can order that as a condition of release.
No, not a condition of release, but that's why I kept doing my homework, trying to find out if I came here today, would you all be able to tell Tyler that he needs a psych evaluation?
we
I
can-
believe there's bipolar there.
All right, Mrs. Payne, let me
Robinson.
explain to you what will happen. This is just an initial appearance. All it is for me to tell him the charge, appoint a public defender if he's
Yes, ma'am.
eligible, and give a bond. This is not the time for the trial or the hearing.
Oh, I
Those will
understand.
Those will all come later.
Okay, okay, but she did tell me that out there, okay. What is so funny?
Okay. It's $500 twice a week if he's eligible, face-to-face PTR with random testing for both.
I wanna know what's so
drugs
funny.
and alcohol use.
I just wanna make sure it's right. $500 or PTR?
No, $500 and
We have to first qualify him for PTR, because if he doesn't qualify, he's gonna.
Could she speak up so I can hear also, please? I'm trying to.
Have to qualify him for PTR, so we have to verify the address that he's trying to provide.
Ma'am, yeah, okay.
so it's an and.
We have to qualify that he has
I
to
know,
exercise.
if I understand if he qualifies, if he doesn't, he's gonna have to apply for
He
a
just
new
gonna
set of
stay.
terms.
He gonna, yeah, he gonna stay.
Pardon?
He's gonna stay here if he don't have.
Yeah. Exactly.
So $500 in PTR for.
And twice a week, face-to-face PTR if he qualifies. Random testing for drugs. Random testing for alcohol use. No contact with mother. No return to that address except one time, but only if law enforcement is present and has made arrangements with his mother in advance for his belongings, not to clear out her home.
Yes, Your Honor.
He doesn't steal.
Okay, then that's good. No weapons. Well, I think it's all in the no contact order, right? Gee, how many more? Let's finish these 2 domestic violence cases and then we'll take a break. All right, would you please tell me who you are?
Damaris Ruiz.
All right, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence, and I see somebody's in the box.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name for the record.
Clayton Amparo.
Okay, and what is your relationship to Mrs. Ruiz?
She's my baby mother and my girlfriend for over 5 years.
All right, what is it that you wanted the court to know?
I'm not afraid of her. She can come home. I want her home. This is actually our first argument in a bad position at the bad timing, over 4 or 5 years. And I was not expecting this. This is not what really expected. I was just expected to be like, oh, time out, 24 hours, go to your mother, each other, or one of you guys had to go. And I was not expecting her to end up in jail. She's not a dangerous person.
So when anybody calls in a report to the police alleging domestic violence, police are gonna come.
Yeah,
They're not gonna come and say, oh, go to your mother's house tonight, oh, go down the street and have a cup of coffee.
I didn't know a shoot was that serious, but
Domestic violence is very serious.
yeah, now I know.
Okay, I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. I do find probable cause, I'll set bond of $500 and no hostile contact. Okay?
Your Honor, she qualifies for pretrial release. Would you consider releasing her on straight pretrial release?
Not unless it's face-to-face, so you tell me which one you want.
Isn't it always face-to-face? So,
All right, I'll do face-to-face once a week.
okay.
No hostile contact. And look like there could be some allegations of people partying. I don't want any consumption of alcohol or non-prescription drugs, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get everything? I think there's one more and then we'll take a break. The clerk indicates he doesn't qualify for your services.
Okay.
All right, sir, would you state your name for the record?
Efren Salazar.
Mr. Salazar, you were charged with battery, domestic violence. I have reviewed the report. I do find probable cause. Somebody's in the box.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Catherine Kiefer.
Ms. Kiefer, what is your relationship to Mr. Salazar?
He is the father of my son.
All right, what is it that you want the court to know?
That I'm not scared of him. He's actually a very safe person, and that I grossly exaggerated, what I had said initially, and clearly made quite a mess. And that also, ideally he would get released today because he needs to go home to take care of our child, because I am actually moving to Virginia as soon as I leave this room. I mean, contingent that he gets out. And I would like contact as far as maintaining contact, mediating between me and him and our child, but
Okay, let me, you're visibly upset, I can see that.
I feel really guilty right now, that's all.
No, ma'am, don't.
I did this,
No, you.
He didn't do anything, and I said that he did.
All right, I understand where you're coming from, okay? I want you to take a deep breath. You said you're moving today. Where did you say you were going to?
Virginia. That was the plan, is I was supposed to be moving to Virginia before all of this happened.
Do you have family there?
Yes.
Okay, and you're moving with the baby?
No. So we agreed about a week, 2 weeks ago, that he would get the first 2 months, since our 13 months old, not in school yet or anything, and then we would go back and forth. And then I've got an agreement with my job where every other week they're going to give me 3 or 4 days off to also come visit in that 2-month in between time.
Did you do any of this with the domestic court?
Negative.
Okay, so this is just an agreement between the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Salazar, if I go ahead and sign this order, you're not going to go to the house and try to stop her from going or anything, are you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
My car is already packed, actually, so I'm actually leaving straight from here
All right. Where's the baby right now?
with his sister.
Is the baby going to stay with his sister, or?
Well, if he gets out, then I'm leaving, and the baby will stay with his sister until, this evening or whatever the case may be. Babysitting, essentially.
Is he eligible for PTR?
He is eligible for PTR.
All right, once a week, PTR. You're now eligible for the services of the public defender. No hostile contact with the mother of your child. No weapons.
No, ma'am.
Let me make sure there was no alcohol or drugs involved. All right, and if any issues come up, please let the police know right away.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, let's just take 2 minutes. I think that takes care of those cases. Okay, I guess we can start again. Who did you want to call first?
Whoever comes out, yeah, I have no preference. Okay, yeah, I have no preference.
Bring in one of them.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Did we mess up the order or something? Well, maybe we could take someone who's not using the bathroom. You may need to pull the mic away. Would you please tell me who you are?
I'm Deukali Ishmael.
Mrs. Ishmael, I have in front of me the following charges. Hydrocodone, possession of butyrenpharine, I may be saying this wrong, trafficking in morphine, trafficking in oxycodone, and possession of alprazolam. I do find probable cause. Let me tell you how the bonds have been set. On count one, the bond was set at $1 million. On count two, 100. Count three, 200,000. Count four, 200,000. Count five, 150. Let me hear from your attorney.
Judge, we were going to be requesting a reduction in the bond. I'm sure that you can see from her face, I don't know if you have a copy of it. She has no criminal history. She does live in Orlando with her husband. They've lived here for 10 years. They've been in the United States for 25 years. She has 4 children. 2 of them, I believe, are here. They live in Orlando. 1 lives in Tampa, so they have substantial ties to the community. She's not a flight risk. She has no prior failure to appears. It's not a dangerous crime. There's not really a victim in this case, so we would ask for a reduction. I believe the bond schedule would be half of what it's currently listed at, depending on the specific charge.
Let me hear from the state.
Your Honor, the state would object on the grounds that the 3 of these are F1s PBLs, meaning that the defendant obviously can be held without bond, let alone it's at a high rate, which is what it is currently at, admittedly. The simple amount that we're talking about here is pretty overwhelming in a number of different substances, and this causes a lot of concern for the state. So the state would object to the lowering of the bond in this case.
I don't have my schedule in front of me, but are you suggesting, counsel, that count one, the bond is incorrect?
Judge, I believe I went through and which count are you specifically referencing, Judge?
This count number one,
The trafficking the oxycodone?
well, it says hydrocodone, Loracet, and Vicodin.
Right, yeah, I believe the bond schedule for that is $100,000, Your Honor. Unless it's alleged that there's a firearm or weapon involved, then it would double it. But I believe for her.
Does the state agree that that is the bond on the bond schedule? Otherwise, I will have to get up and go get the bond schedule.
Your Honor, I do not have the bond schedule in front of me. I don't.
Right here. Okay, the clerk's given me the bond schedule. On count one, it's $200,000, but the trafficking in oxycodone is $1 million.
for that, Judge, please?
She's referring to the
Oh,
arrest
okay.
affidavit.
Can I approach just with what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to stay with it.
That's what the affidavit has.
I may have been mistaken.
The clerk has this.
Yeah.
Right, I guess, I just must be mistaken with the judge.
That's not what our new schedule looks like, but I can, if you want me
It's
to
just
double
the-
check it. I'm assuming the clerk checked it. She says greater than 28 grams.
Right. This is from the pre-trial release.
I mean, so the numbers are off, and that it should be number 4 that's $1 million. Typically, it is my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you attribute the highest amount, but then the other amounts do decrease significantly.
Correct,
Yes,
Judge.
Your Honor. That's my understanding as well.
All right, so if count 4 is $1 million, counts 1, 2, 3, and 5 should be respectively?
150?
Your Honor, I have count 1 as the trafficking hydrocodone. That would be the $1 million.
No, the clerk said that's incorrect.
Oh, okay.
That's the $200,000. Number 4, I'm going to say it again, number 4 is $1 million.
Okay.
So I'm going to reduce all the others. But I'm going to reduce them to, yeah, okay, I'll reduce them to 150, 150, 150, and 150.
Judge, even in light of that, we would respectfully ask for a reduction to $500,000, just based on,
Your request is denied. It doesn't mean that you can't bring a motion in front of Division 14.
okay, thank you, Judge.
So I changed them on here to what I want them to do. Well, I may need this. Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Shahamuddin Ismail.
All right, Mr. Ishmael, you were charged with, and I find probable cause, trafficking in oxycodone, possession of alprazolam, trafficking in hydrocodone, Lisette and Vicodin, possession of buprenorphine, and trafficking in morphine. Let me hear from your attorney.
Judge, Ashley Parker on behalf of Mr. Ishmael. Judge, the same arguments with respect to Mr. Ishmael. Again, he has no prior criminal history, no failures to appear.
All right, as
Substantial ties to the community. He does have family here. They've lived here for 16 years.
count number 1 will stay at $1 million. Count 2 will be 150. Count 3 will be 150. Count 4 will be 150. Count 5 will be 150.
Thank you, Judge.
You have another client, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, this is my last case.
Okay, who is this?
It's John, how do you say your last name?
John Edward C. Penlockie.
All right, let's see what I've got, Mr. Penlockie. Mr. Penlockie, okay, he has an appointed attorney. All right, Mr. Penlockie, you were charged with burglary of a conveyance, battery, and petty theft. I do find this probable cause. Let me hear from your attorney.
Judge Ashley Parker on behalf of Mr. Penlockie. Again, Judge, no felony convictions, no misdemeanor convictions. I believe he has one prior arrest for battery. That case was dismissed. Again, he's lived here, for over 20 years. He works. If you read the police report, Judge, it came in as a pretty serious charge, but again, I think it's, in light of what happened, it's not as serious as the charge may seem.
recommending for the bond on count one?
Are you asking the defense, Your Honor?
Yeah,
We
and then
rec-
I'll ask the state. And then if I have to, I'll go get the bond book.
Sure. Did we request a $5,000 bond?
Your Honor, the state would request a $20,000 bond. I understand that the facts, as counsel has mentioned, are perhaps not as serious as what the charge indicates, although I would point the court to the fact pattern where it appears that Mr. Pinlocki engaged, re-engaged with the listed victim in the case. And I think that would be an aggravating factor that should be considered by the court in issuing a bond.
And just brief response, Judge. I think it's because his car was towed by that individual, so he was trying to figure out how to get his property back.
All right, on count one, I'll set the bond at $7,500. No contact order. Count two is 100, count three is 100. No contact.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jennifer Jacobs on behalf of Malik Wade.
Mr. Wade, just so you know what I have in front of me, I have a violation of community control in which no bond has been set. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, my client is wondering whether the court would entertain a plea to the bench.
No, counsel. It doesn't mean that he can't request in front of Judge Jordan in Division 19 a plea date. But at this time, you're being held without bond till you see Judge Jordan.
Thank you.
Okay, the next person I have is Jamal Copley.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
It's mental health? Yes, ma'am. All right, mental health. Can I have your name, please?
Decker.
Ms. Decker, you were charged with possession of methamphetamine. Bond has been set at $1,000. I find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. So we're going to do for today. Can I have your name, please?
Danielle Ray, drive-a-bise.
All right. Ma'am, the reason that you're here is your judge issued a warrant for your failure to appear on a charge possession of heroin, and the judge has indicated no bond at this time. Okay? The public defender's already appointed to represent you. Next case, please. Can I have your name, please?
Tracy Ferrari.
What happened to Mr. Fernandez Rivera?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Oh.
Take that.
Tracy, you said Mrs. Ferrari?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the reason that you're here today is your judge in case number, felony case number 2018 CF 16089 issued a capias for your failure to appear on a charged possession of cocaine. And the judge has indicated there's to be no bond at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
What's going on? I feel like I'm not going to be able to do much for it.
Could, pardon? I think there is a P because it was a failure to appear. Can I have your name, please?
Sheena Fisher.
All right. Ms. Fisher, the reason that you're here today is for possession of, now let me go ahead and look at the original. Methylene, methamphetamine, MDAD, ecstasy. Judge Roach set a bond in an amount of $1,000. If you haven't already been appointed a public defender, I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Probable cause has already been found.
It's the second weird one this morning. Some guy earlier is being held no bond because he left Polk County to come here and pay his court costs. It's awful.
Can I have your name, please?
Leroy H. Green.
All right, Mr. Green, you're here for a couple of things. The first case is 2019 CF 811680. The charge is robbery with a firearm. There's no, I find probable cause, there's no bond. Case number 2019 CF 8744, robbery with a deadly weapon. No bond was set in that case. False imprisonment, bond was set at $3,000. You've requested the services of the public defender. I will appoint the public defender.
Your Honor, for the second case, he's entitled to the bond on the robbery with a weapon because the robbery with a weapon is a first-degree felony, not a PBL. So we'd ask that bond be set in that case.
Do you have these scheduled with you at this time?
It's over here.
With a deadly weapon, I want to say 75 or 10.
That sounds about right.
Will you double check?
Yeah. That's why I would put that first.
Your Honor, I've listed a robbery armed with a non-deadly weapon would be $10,000. It just says must be set by judge at first appearance for with a deadly attempt.
All right, we'll take a recess. All right, with the firearm, the bond is $10,000.
And it's in the other case?
Pardon me?
There's two cases.
Yeah, it says with a deadly weapon, none.
Okay.
With a firearm, $10,000.
Okay.
So you got one of the ones you wanted.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Here, the first one. 8116. That one's $10,000. This one is no.
So he's on felony probation.
Public defender.
I already know your situation. I know who you are. I'm gonna pay you, okay?
All right, who's next?
This is Moses Harriel.
All right, sir, just for the record, would you please tell me your name?
Moses Harrell.
They have in front of your name Ab. Is there an AB in front of the name Moses? Is that a mistake?
I'm not sure. His tag says A Harriel, but what I have says AB Moses. I don't know if it's his middle
That's what
name.
I have, AB Moses. Well, Mr. Moses, you were charged with grand theft. I do find probable cause. Bond has been set at $1,000, and the public defender has been appointed to represent you.
Your Honor, before you continue with the out on bond cases, could I be heard? Because there's a bunch.
Pardon me?
Can I be heard on the out on bond cases before? Okay, I was just saying he's incompetent to proceed on those other cases, so I was gonna ask you not to revoke his bond.
I don't have the other cases.
Never, I must be looking at something.
That's okay. Public defender's appointed.
I don't know. I'd have to ask the sheriff.
Would you please state your name for the record?
Jessica Ingham.
All right, ma'am, I have in front of me the following charges: possession of cocaine, possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia. On count 1, bond has been set at $1,000, count 2, 150, count 3, 100. I do find probable cause. I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
I'm not touching that. I want my job. I prefer him. Your Honor, what were those set at? I'm sorry.
I don't know anymore. Next case.
Tell your name.
Ashley Klosterman.
All right, that comes with.
I had Lorenzo Johnson.
What happened to Lorenzo Carl Jr. Johnson? Does anybody know what? Okay. Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Lorenzo Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you've been charged with grand theft 3rd degree. Bond was set at $2,500. I do find probable cause. However, in addition, you were out on bond for possession of MDMA and ecstasy, and I'm revoking that bond, setting it at none at this time. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Yes, and there was a second felony case too. Possession of cannabis and grand theft 3rd degree motor vehicle. I'm revoking that bond also.
Ashley Klosterman.
Okay. All right, ma'am, let me tell you why you are here. According to the underlying capias, you were arrested for failing to appear on charges of possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. At this time, your bond is set at none, and I will appoint, if you've not already been appointed, the public defender to represent you. Sir, can I have your name, please?
Traylon Lee.
Mr. Lee, you were also issued a warrant for your arrest. That's why you're being held, because you failed to appear on an underlying charge of robbery, as well as an underlying charge of petty theft. And on the petty theft, your judge did issue a bond amount of $1,500, but on the failure to appear on robbery, no bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you've not been appointed a public defender, I will appoint one to represent you.
Thank you.
Can I have your name, please?
Tiara McGee.
All right, let me tell you why you're here, Mrs. McGee. You have been charged with petty theft with a notification that you've had 2 prior convictions. Bond has been set at $1,000. There is probable cause. However, you are currently out on bond for operating a motor vehicle without having a valid license, and that bond is being revoked. Do I not have that one? I don't have that one.
I can give you the case number, Your Honor.
Is she out on bond for that? I don't have that one.
No, it's a new charge. It's another one.
No, the one.
No, I've already revoked this one. This is a no valid DL.
And that, the allegation is that that occurred while you were out on bond.
Okay, I do see it. Grand theft and bond was set at, that's 2019 CF 7739. That bond is set at $1,000. Can I have your name, please?
Dominic Jacob Nicosia.
All right, sir, you're here for 2 matters. You failed to appear in case number 2019 CF 1538 on charges possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia, and your judge has issued a no bond. You also failed to appear 2019 CF 1539 on grand theft motor vehicle and resisting officer without violence, and again, your judge issued no bond in that case. And you have a new case now, 2019 CF 8920, grand theft motor vehicle and bond set at $1,000, possession of controlled substance, bond is set at $150, controlled substance without a prescription, $100, resisting officer without violence, $100, drug possession, $100, carrying a concealed weapon, $100, and I do find probable cause in the new case. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Can I have your name, please?
Earl Nixon.
All right, Mr. Nixon, you were charged with fleeing and eluding a police... Pardon? Oh, I didn't see it was 13 counts. On the last one, that drug equipment, there were 13 counts, but each bond is set at $100, but I didn't see it,
Okay,
just so you know.
thank you.
All right, Mr. Nixon, you've been charged with fleeing and eluding a police officer and driving while license suspended. Initially, there was no bond issued on the fleeing and eluding. The bond was set at $100 on driving while license suspended. Let me hear from both sides on a recommendation.
Your Honor, this is not a punishable life or capital offense, so he's entitled to a bond. I'll note that he...
No, I know that. I'm asking for recommendations.
Oh, he qualifies for straight pretrial release, and he has minimal criminal history, so I'd ask for that. In the alternative, I'd ask for a $7,500 bond.
Your Honor, I'm just checking his criminal record real quick.
You were requesting $7,500?
Right. The state would object to pretrial release. We do have,
I'll make count 1 $5,000. Count 2 is 100.
Thank
fair
you.
enough.
Public defenders appointed. Can I have your name, please?
Stacy Noguez.
All right. Ma'am, the reason that you're here is it is alleged that you have violated your probation, and your judge indicated a no bond status?
Yes, ma'am.
She's already represented.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
all right. Pardon? Well, the public defender says she's appointed already.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Can I have your name, please, sir?
Lawrence Peterson Jr.
Mr. Peterson, you have been charged with driving while license suspended with an indication that there's been at least 2 prior suspensions. Bond was set at $2,500, but you were also charged with operating a motor vehicle without having a license, and bond was set at $100. I know it won't be both, but right now you were charged with a felony and a misdemeanor.
Your Honor, he does qualify for PTR.
Would the court be inclined to release him on straight PTR, face to face?
Not unless the vehicle's surrendered.
Don't know if it's his or not.
Pardon?
I don't know anything about whether it.
Well, then I would say no, at this time it will stay this way.
Okay.
Sir, could you please give me your name?
Oscar Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, I have in front of me the following charges. There is probable cause to support your arrest. The charges in front of me are possession of burglary tools, petty theft, criminal mischief, and loitering and prowling. Bond has been set on count 1 at $500, count 2 at $100, count 3 $100, count 4 $100. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Could I have your name, please?
Rhonda Vaught.
All right. Ma'am, I find probable cause to support your arrest on grand theft and trespassing. On count 1, bond has been set at $1,000. On count 2, $100. I'm also going to indicate no return to Walmart. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Can I have your name, please?
John Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, I find probable cause for your arrest on the charge of grand theft. Bond has been set at $500. I'm also going to indicate no return to Walmart. The public defender is appointed to represent you.
Okay.
No, you can't plead to this right now.
Sir, could you please tell me who you are?
Jimmy Kelly.
All right, you didn't, what happened to Eric Aquino?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay, this gentleman bonded. Did you say Mr. Kelly?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Kelly, let's see. You were charged with operating a motor vehicle without having a valid license,
Yes, ma'am.
and bond was set at $500.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, he has no criminal convictions. Would you consider giving him straight PTR since he qualifies?
You said no criminal history, but this suggests his license has been suspended for about 5 years.
I said no convictions. I've got, my face sheet here says 0 felonies, 0 misdemeanors, 1 FTA, no out-of-state history, no rest.
I'll reduce the bond, but no.
Okay.
I'll make it $250.
That's just what I have in front of me.
And I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, you're not permitted to be in actual physical control of any motor vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
come on up, please. Could you please give me your name?
Dariana Creasy.
All right, Ms. Creasy, you were charged with trespass after warning. You were charged with petty theft. I find probable cause to support your arrest on these charges. On count one, bond was set at $500. Count two, $100. I'm going to add no return to AutoZone. I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
Okay, I was.
Can I have your name, please?
Larry Nolan, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Noling, you were charged with petty theft. This is from an incident that occurred at Publix. I do find probable cause to support your arrest. Bond was set at $500, and I will add no return to Publix. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Can I have your name, please, sir?
Antoine Neal.
Did you say Mr. Neal?
Antoine Neal.
All right, Mr. Neal, you were charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause to support your arrest on this charge. Bond was set at $500, but in addition, you were currently out on bond for petty theft with 2 prior convictions, as well as burglary of a structure, resisting officer without violence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And I'm revoking those bonds, including the ROR associated. Public defenders appointed on the new case. Oop, sorry.
I can ask.
Can I have your name, please?
My name is Richard Rivera.
All right, Mr. Rivera, you have been charged with the following. I find probable cause for your arrest. You were charged with the following: exposure of sexual organs and possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond in this case on count one set at $500 and count two $100. However, you are currently out on bond for criminal mischief and possession of drug paraphernalia, and I'm revoking ROR on that, and there'll be no bond at this time on that case. Public
Mr.
defender is appointed to represent you.
Mr. Rivera wanted me to ask you if there was an offer.
No.
That's what I thought.
Hey, ma'am, I was gonna ask you, why is the, okay.
Sir, this is just an initial appearance where I tell you why you're being held.
I just talk to the FBI, when it's really hard for me to speak to the FBI through the phone system that they got in the jail.
Okay,
You
well,
understand? Because I'm going through a lot of stuff right now that's just crazy, you know, like this whole system is like it's created for us to come back to jail, and this cop set this cop sets the whole crime and
all right,
put us to
deputies,
jail every
we're
time.
finished with this case. I'm sorry, sir.
I mean,
good
I
luck
don't
to
know
you.
how to explain how they do it, but they do it, you know?
Well,
It's
I don't know if
crazy.
they had anything to do with the exposure case, but okay. Can I have your name, please?
Erica Robinson,
Mrs. Robinson?
legally.
You've been charged with trespass on property and bonds been set at $500.
Okay.
And I do find probable cause to support your arrest. You're currently out on bond, though, for 2 other cases, 2 counts of petty theft, and the court is revoking your bond.
Your Honor, we ask that you don't revoke her bond. She's been adjudicated incompetent to proceed in both of those cases.
I agree.
Being adjudicated incompetent to proceed doesn't mean you have leeway to go out and commit
I
a new
agree.
offense.
I agree with you morally, but the case law that I have, Palacio v. State, I don't have it.
It says that I
cite-
can't revoke the bond?
Yes, I could pull it up for you if you wanted to pass this, but
Is that familiar to you, counsel?
It's not, but I mean, I doubt that counsel would represent that falsely to the court, but I'm not familiar with it offhand.
You're already being held on a $500 bond. I'll leave these two bonds alone.
okay. Wait, so to be clear, did you revoke it or no?
I'll leave it alone.
Okay, thank you.
I'll leave it as is. We'll let the other judge address that.
Okay.
So if I go retrial on
No, you don't qualify.
I have to sit in here and wait.
I'll get someone to come see you.
Okay.
Sir, may I have your name, please?
Derek Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, you were charged with petty theft, and this is from an incident that occurred at Dollar Tree. I find this probable cause to support your arrest. Bond has been set at $500. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. No return to Dollar Tree also.
Mr. Stewart wanted me to ask the court if you'd consider RORing him. Nope. Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, we're out of order. Let me find that case.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Dickerson, covering for Lyle Mason on behalf of Jeffrey Stein.
Yeah, I've got to find out where that case is. Okay. There it is. All right. Mr. Stein, you have been charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling with assault and battery, and you've currently been out on bond for trafficking in 400 or more grams of methamphetamine and ecstasy. I'll be revoking that bond, and there'll be no bond in that case at this time.
Your Honor, may I be heard as to the case he's out on bond on, and then additionally, I'd like to take some testimony from Mr. Stein in regards to setting a bond amount on the new case?
Go ahead, counsel.
Is Mr. Stein sworn in?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that testimony about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stein, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you do?
I'm a web content writer for Vontera LLC.
Okay, and how much do you make per month?
Probably about $2,000 a month.
Where are you currently residing?
2432 Cypress Trace Circle, Orlando, Florida 32825.
And who do you live there with, please?
I live there with my son and my girlfriend.
And do you provide support for those two individuals?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you also attending school?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a full-time student at Valencia College.
And what are you majoring in, please?
Marketing. I have a minor in marketing and a major in finance.
When do you anticipate receiving your degree?
I'll receive my degree in 1 year from this June.
The course received some information that you were placed on probation in Colorado, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it true that you were terminated early from that probation in February of this year?
Yes, ma'am. I was early termed by the judge in Colorado who deemed me early term for successfully completing probation.
And that early termination occurred while you were out on bond in the trafficking case the court referred to here?
Yes, ma'am. They referred to it here. That's why they early termed me, because they didn't feel the case was strong.
Thank you. No further questions for Mr. Stein at this time.
On the burglary of the occupied dwelling with an assault, I'll set bond at $3,500 plus no contact with the victim. The bond is, however, revoked in 19 CT 8978AO, the trafficking in the MDMA and ecstasy, and you can take that up in front of the felony court.
Your Honor, would the court entertain possibly setting a bond in that case? It
No.
is set for pretrial and trial next week.
No.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have before the court. May I be excused?
Oh, I would ask you next week anyway. You put no contact on the, I want a no contact order on that other case then. I wrote it down. Okay. Can I have your name, please?
Nathan Harper.
Mr. Harper, you're here because you're being held on an out-of-county warrant. It's a violation of probation on a charge that was cocaine. That court did issue, it's Osceola County case, I think, that they did issue a bond in an amount of $2,500, so you can either bond out or Osceola will pick you up probably by Monday. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Oliver Edward Locke III.
All right, sir. You're, there's an out-of-county warrant for you from Osceola County on a charge of domestic battery, and they will probably, it looks like there's also for assault, too.
I'm sorry?
Domestic battery, it looks like, and assault, out-of-county warrant, Osceola County. No doubt they will probably come for you by Monday.
Are those two separate charges, ma'am?
Very hard for me to tell because it says domestic battery and then the next page says assault. I don't know if they mean one and the same, but I guess they'll explain that to you when they see you. They'll pick you up.
I'm done. Thank you.
Can I have your name, please?
Donald Ayers.
The next case I had was an Anthony Johnson. Is he not? Did you say Donald Ayers?
Donald Ayers.
Ayers. Mr. Ayers, you were charged with alcoholic beverages open container,
Yes, ma'am.
and bond was set at $250.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you hoping for a resolution, counsel? Do you?
Your Honor, he's indicated to me that he'd like to resolve his case.
Your Honor, he has some criminal history, but it's not very severe. The state would just offer adjudication and time served.
How many days in does he have?
2 days.
Is it just today?
Yeah.
2 days? You'd be adjudicated guilty, you'd get credit for 2 days, $50 public defender lien, $50 prosecution lien, $223 in court costs. Do you want to do that, sir?
Yes.
All right, sir, I'm just going to need a plea form from you, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ayers, to the charge of alcoholic beverage or open container, how do you plead?
I plead no contest.
And sir, do you understand by entering a no contest plea today that you're waiving the constitutional rights on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, the signature on here, is it yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign this freely?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody threaten you?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that among the rights you're giving up today, you're giving up your right with your lawyer to challenge any evidence that the state has against you?
Yes.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to have a trial and make the state prove the charge? Sir, if you don't understand, we'll
Yes,
reschedule the
ma'am.
matter. Okay.
Yes, I understand.
All right. Do you understand you're being adjudicated guilty? That means convicted of this charge.
To my understanding I was pleading out to you, and yes, I am putting myself in your hands of being guilty of that's what I understood. I'm sorry.
I think we need to reset this, council.
Will you reset it for tomorrow?
All right. You roll him till tomorrow. Next person?
I'll talk to him before court tomorrow. That was Mr. Ari's, right? Or,
I already passed the paper over.
all right.
Name, please, sir.
James Hoover, ma'am.
Sir, you were charged with possession of open container. Sir, do you want to try to resolve your case, or do you just want to know that your bond's been set at $250?
Resolve my case, please, ma'am.
State Attorney?
Your Honor, for the remainder of these, the open container, in light of all their criminal histories, the state's offer is going to be 5 days in jail on each. I just figured that'll make it easier for all of us. I'll tell you in advance.
He wants to take the
Plea
offer.
form?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hoover, to the charge of possession of open container alcoholic beverage, how do you plead?
No contest,
And do you
ma'am.
understand, sir, by entering your no contest plea today, that you're waiving the constitutional rights set forth on your plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And, sir, did you sign this?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it freely?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that among the rights you're giving up your right to challenge any evidence that the state has against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to have a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that adjudication of guilt means you're being convicted?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to appeal any harmful error?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen, you'll be subject to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to know if you're under the influence today of alcohol, drugs, or medicine.
No, ma'am.
Are you being treated for anything that's mental or emotional?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation for anything criminal?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you wanted her to do for you?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from me?
No, ma'am.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find you freely, voluntarily, and intelligently have waived your rights. You're knowingly entering the plea. You do understand the nature of the charge and the consequences. After reviewing the charging documents, I find a factual basis and sentence you accordingly. To the charge of open container out of an alcoholic beverage, court adjudicates you guilty, sentences you as follows: 5 days Orange County Jail. Further, $50 public defender lien, $50 prosecution lien, $223 in court cost payment plan will start in 90 days at an amount of $30 per month plus a $5 monitoring fee. All right, sir, after you've completed your time, you'll be released.
Yes, ma'am.
Next person, please. Sir, can I have your name, please?
Sylvester Huntley.
Mr. Huntley, you were been charged with open container alcoholic beverage, and the bond was set at $250, and there is a PC to support your arrest. Do you want to try to resolve your case, or do you want to just bond out?
I want to resolve it right here.
All right, it'd be 5 days was what the state attorney's offering.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to do that?
Yes.
All right, please have a plea form. Mr. Huntley, do you understand by entering your plea today that you're waiving all your constitutional rights?
Yes.
All right, sir, to the charge, open container of an alcoholic beverage, how do you plead?
No contest.
Okay, and do you understand that among the rights you're giving up today, you're giving up your right to challenge the evidence the state has against you?
Yes.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to have a trial?
Yes.
Do you understand you're being adjudicated guilty? That means convicted.
Yes.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to appeal any harmful error?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, you'll be subject to deportation?
Yes.
I need to know if you're under the influence, alcohol, drugs, medicine.
No.
Are you being treated for anything that's mental or emotional?
No.
Are you on probation for anything that's criminal?
No.
You satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes.
Anything else you wanted her to do for this case?
No.
Any questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I accept your no contest plea. I find you freely, voluntarily, and intelligently have waived your rights. You knowingly entering the plea. You do understand the nature of the charge and the consequences. After reviewing the charging documents, I find a factual basis and sentence you accordingly to the charge of open container of alcoholic beverage. Court is adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you as follows. 5 days Orange County Jail. Further, $50 public defender lien, $50 prosecution lien, $223 in court costs, and you'll be placed on a payment plan of $30 per month that'll start in 90 days with a $5 monitoring fee. Okay, next case. Can I have your name, please, sir?
Edward Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you've been charged with lying on the sidewalk in downtown Orlando, where it's prohibited. And bond's been set at $250. I don't know, do you want to resolve your case, or you just want to bond out and go to trial?
I want to resolve my case, ma'am.
It's the same, 5
Same
days, Your Honor.
thing, 5 days? You want to do that?
It was me sitting on the sidewalk, and that was because I was too incarcerated from leaving the bar. I just leaned against the wall and sat down. I have to go to work, ma'am. Is it possible
All
I
right,
can
let
resolve it?
me look at here. Are you saying that you had a couple to drink from the bar?
Yes, ma'am, and I just leaned against the wall and sat there. I couldn't walk. I didn't want to stagger everywhere.
Has he got 1 day? He's got 1 day, 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days.
I'll give you credit for your 2 days.
All right. I'm going to
You
work.
know, if you're gonna drink, you gotta drink in moderation, so you're not sitting on the sidewalks and stuff, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't realize I had that many. I went to walking, and I seen I was staggering towards the highway. I just leaned against and
Yeah,
and
not,
slid
not,
down.
not good. Go ahead
Yes.
and let, does he have
And-
any criminal history?
And this I'll be released today?
Yes.
Okay.
He does?
Your Honor, he had an open container earlier this year.
It's all right. He's got a job.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot here. A no valid from last year.
All right, Mr. Lewis, to the charge of sitting and lying down on the sidewalk in the downtown core district, how do you plead your answer?
No contest.
And, sir, do you understand by entering a no contest plea that you're waiving your constitutional rights on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign this freely?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody threaten you?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that among the rights you're giving up your right to challenge the evidence that the state has against you in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you're giving up your right to have a trial and make the state prove it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand in resolving this case today, you're going to be adjudicated guilty? That means convicted.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to appeal any harmful error?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, this will subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to know if you're under the influence today of alcohol, drugs, medicine.
No, ma'am.
Being treated for anything mental or emotional.
No, ma'am.
On probation for anything criminal.
No, ma'am.
You satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you wanted her to do in this case?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from me about the rights you're waiving or your penalties?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I accept your no contest plea. I find you freely, voluntarily, and intelligently have waived your rights. You're knowingly entering the plea. You do understand the nature of the charge and the consequences. After reviewing the charging documents, I find there's a basis and sentence you accordingly to the charge of sitting or lying down on the sidewalks in downtown core district. Court's adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you as follows. 2 days Orange County Jail, credit for 2 days served. The mandatory cost, $50 public defender lien, $50 prosecution lien, $223 in court costs. Put you on a payment plan that'll start in 90 days at $30 per month plus a $5 monitoring fee. All right, sir. Can I have your name, please?
Santiago Rojas Jr., ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rojas, you have been charged with disorderly conduct, and bond has been set at $250, and I do find probable cause. However, sir, you were out on bond already for indecent conduct, and I'll be revoking that bond. Public defenders appointed to represent you. Can I have your name, please?
I don't think he speaks English.
That's the Korea. Oh, I think I have more than one. I have a Geraldo Baptone.
Sí.
That is you? You need an interpreter, sir?
That's the Creole.
He needs a Creole interpreter.
Do we have a Creole interpreter?
She's calling on the line.
Oh.
Does that one come through the headsets or out loud?
Normally out loud.
Pardon me? Hello?
Hello, this is Belanda, ID number 230471. I'll be your Haitian Creole interpreter for today.
Have you been sworn in?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Sir, would you state your name? Well, has he been sworn in?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Est-ce que seulement par là, c'est la vérité, seulement la vérité?
Oui.
Yes.
All right. Sir, could you please tell me your name?
Monsieur, s'il vous plaît, dis-moi non.
Geraldo Batichon.
I am unable, Mbatodo. I cannot hear you.
Geraldo Batichon.
Geraldo Batichon.
All right. Sir, you have been charged with battery, domestic violence.
Monsieur, chargé avec batterie de violence domestique.
And the victim is identified as Rolanda,
Et victime nan c'est Rolanda.
the mother of your child.
Maman Pipito.
I do find probable cause for your arrest on this charge.
Moi, j'ai une cause probable pour yo arrêter ou pour charge ça yo.
I will hear from your attorney at this time.
M'attendais sa avocat la pral di kounya.
Your Honor, according to his face sheet, he has no criminal convictions and he qualifies for pretrial release, so we'd ask he be released on pretrial release with no contact with the victim and any other conditions the court may impose.
I'm sorry. I have to cut you off. I apologize. D'après background ni, nous pas jeune que li gen aucune charge criminelle et pour raison ça, nous dit que li qualifié pour yo la gueule avant que la juge pretrial.
Let me hear from the state.
Your Honor, the state would object to straight PTR just in light of the facts in this case that seem to be pretty highly emotionally charged. Counsel already stated that there was no, or it appears that there would be no objection to there being no contact from the, between the defendant and the victim, which the state would also request, again, in light of the nature of the underlying facts here.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that and can you break it into two parts
Sure.
for me? Two lengths.
Sorry about that. Sure, so the state would object to just straight pretrial release and would request,
Et objecté pour yo ta la gueule seulement dans pretrial?
and would request a no contact order between the defendant and the victim in this case.
Et yo ta demandé que pour pas gen ken contact entre victime nan et moun qui fait là.
And this is in light of the nature of the facts alleged by law enforcement.
Et ça, c'est d'après nature de la loi, enforcement,
as well as the victim, rather.
et de victime nan tout.
Did you say you've had victim contact?
No, Your Honor, that's one of my concerns, is that she's not here, and I'm not aware of any contact with her. So we don't have her
Et c'est
position.
ça problème nan li pa la, et nou pa gen ken kontak avek li men.
We had no victim contact.
Yeah.
The
Nou
defendant,
pa gen ken kontak avek victime nan.
defendant also has a hold for ICE.
Also has a hold?
For ICE.
All right, sir. I will,
Monsieur,
Allô?
for this particular charge, I will give you the following bond.
pou chak sa ma
$500
boy yon ban, $500,
plus face-to-face PTR one time per week,
et puis pou gen vini face à face, pi PTR yon fwa nou semen nan.
no contact with the victim, no return to the residence,
Ou pa ka gen kontak avek victime nan, nou pa ka
no
retounen nan kote.
weapons. There'll be a no contact order entered.
Ou pa ka gen ken kontak avek li.
However, sir, I've just been told that,
Can I show you the detainer?
pardon?
Can I show you the detainer?
I have just been told that you are being held by ICE.
E yo di mette ke bon nan ice la.
Shouldn't I wait till then?
Batel moto.
That's fine. I just announced what I would do in our case. The reality is, sir, you're not going to be able to do anything in regard to my case because you are going to be removed. I have never seen one before.
Allô?
That's all we're going to do for today, sir. To the extent it's necessary, the public defender is appointed in the second case.
Chaque ki lè di mwen de pou m prezante la?
When do I have to come? When do I have to come?
Sir, I don't believe that you're going to be going anywhere because you're going to be picked up by immigration.
Monsieur mpa kwe ke ap la go paske m gen presyon imigrasyon ap vin chèche ou.
Pou ki koz?
So that's
For
all I can
what?
do for today is tell you what I have been told. That's all I can tell you.
Sa m ka dou selman jodi a, se sa ke yo dim.
Mba gen...
All right,
Mba
that's
an
it,
afe avèk
deputies.
imigrasyon.
I don't have no problem with immigration.
We'll take 2 minutes and we'll try for Osceola again.
Okay. You'll be dealing with the PD in Osceola.
Oh, you're not running away now, are you?
That's what I plan on doing.
Osceola, can we hear each
Good
other?
afternoon, Judge. I hope so. Can you hear me?
It's very low. Is there
Not
any
loud
way to
enough.
increase the volume? How much can you turn this up?
All right, Judge, is there any way you could turn up the volume there?
No, now I can hear you. You need to just stay closer to that microphone.
All right, I can do that.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Judge Bell. I'm here for your initial appearance today. For the record, I'll first have the attorneys announce their names.
Paul William McBride on behalf of the state of Florida.
My name's Javier Chavez on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Okay.
That away.
All right. I did review.
Judge, can we call two people out of order?
If you just give me a minute, certainly.
Sure, go right ahead, Judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did review all the charging documents. I have found probable cause. I'm assuming the public defender probably had sufficient time also to review all the records.
Yes, Judge, I've reviewed all the charging affidavits.
All right, who did you want to call out of order? And we'll try to sift through these and pull those two out.
Okay, Judge, we'd like to call Valerie Dixon first.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may briefly, this was the case that you indicated to me that there was mention of an active warrant that you could not find. Just on a hunch, I looked it up under the Osceola clerk's office, and I did find that being an Osceola active warrant. That is the case number listed on their site. And it did match her name and date of birth, of course.
What's the case number on that case, though?
It's 19MM1992. It's actually listed in the affidavit,
I
rather.
know, but do you know, just so I can tell her, is there a bond amount or anything on that?
There was very little information. I couldn't find much there, but I did find the active case number to be verified. I couldn't even find the charge, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, would you state your name for the record?
Valerie Dixon.
All right, Mrs. Dixon, I have in front of me the following. An arrest for charges, possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. Count 1, bond was set at 1,000. Count 2, 500. However, ma'am, inside the body of this narrative, there's reference that there's another warrant for you down in Osceola County. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the details of that warrant, but perhaps the public defender can. All we know is that there's an active warrant under case number 19MM1992, so that's something else that will have to be addressed. But anyway, you have requested the services of the public defender, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. That's all we're going to do for today. What was the next case that the public defender requested be out of order?
Yes, Judge, the next person is Richard Brown.
It's almost all the way at the bottom. Okay, is Mr. Brown there? Sir, would you state your name? Would you state your name for the record, please, sir?
Rashad Jamar Brown Jr.
All right, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, I have a charge that you were arrested for robbery, sudden snatching with no weapon. Excuse me. Bond has been set at $5,000. That's an active warrant, and it is out of Osceola County. If you don't have a public defender appointed to represent you, sir, I will appoint a public defender to represent you. All right, sir, good luck.
All right.
All right, that's it, Judge. You could call whatever order you'd like, Judge.
All right, the next case that I have in front of me is a Mr. Darius Anderson. Sir, would you state your name for the record, please?
Darius Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, I have in front of me the following arrest affidavit, and I do find probable cause to support your arrest on the following charges: grand theft auto, resisting officer without violence, battery on law enforcement, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and false name or ID used by arrestee. The bonds that were set in this case were $2,500 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, $2,500 on count 3, $5,000 on count 4, and then $500 on the last count. Let me hear from your attorney. Oh, I have a second case. I didn't see that initially. A violation of probation and community control, and bond is set on that case at none. Okay, the public defender's appointed. Looks like Mr. Anderson just went and sat down. The next case I have is Alex Berrios. And sir, would you just confirm your name for the record, please?
Alex Omar Berrios.
All right, Mr. Berrios, you have been charged with driving while license suspended, a third or further offense. I find probable cause, bond is set at $2,500. However, you're currently out on PTR and bond for case number 19MM2241, and that is being revoked. The public defender will be appointed to represent you. Okay, the next case I have is Courtney Blake. Would you please confirm your name for the record?
Courtney Blake.
Mr. Blake, there's probable cause to support your arrest on the charges of grand theft auto, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, resisting officer without violence, but you've indicated on your paperwork that you don't want an appointment of the public defender. Is that correct? Sir, are you going to hire your own lawyer?
No, I guess public defender.
You do want the public defender?
Yeah.
All right, do you have any income at all, sir?
Yeah, disability.
All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond set in this case on count 1 are $2,500, count 2, $5,000, count 3, $500. Good luck, sir. The next case that I have is Marley Charlotte. Could you confirm your name for the record, please?
Marley Charlotte.
All right. I find probable cause to support your arrest on a charge of petty theft. Are you seeking representation by the Office of the Public Defender?
Yeah.
Okay, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond has been set at $250. I'll add that there is to be no return to Walmart.
Judge, she does qualify for pretrial release.
Is that correct? Oh, I could barely hear it. I heard somebody say something about pretrial release.
Judge,
She has 2
I
cases?
believe that she qualifies. I
Okay,
believe she does qualify for pretrial release.
On both cases?
Yes, Judge.
All right, face-to-face PTR. 1 time a week, no new law violations, no return to Walmart. Check and make sure you, no return to any Walmart. Public defender is appointed. Rogelio Crueda?
Yeah, Crusetta, Judge, and he needs a Spanish interpreter.
Is the interpreter still with us?
Good morning, Your Honor. Can you hear me? This is Astrid.
Yes, I can. This is Rogelio, Cruceta.
Yes. Sí.
Cruzeta, Rogelio Cruzeta.
Okay. Sir,
No entendí.
you have been charged with driving under the influence.
Señora, ¿usted se le acusa de manejar bajo los efectos?
I do find probable cause to support your arrest.
¿Encuentro motivo fundado para este arresto?
Are you seeking the services of a public defender, or are you going to retain a private attorney?
Pues me había tomado 2
¿Solicita usted los servicios de un defensor público o usted va a contratar un abogado privado?
Bueno, como sea, necesito pagar la fianza que tengo y lo que sea, pagarlo ya porque tengo aquí el tarjeta de crédito y tengo dinero suficiente para pagar la fianza.
Well, I would just like to pay the bond. I have enough money with me to pay the bond, I believe.
All right, sir, but I'm asking you if you're seeking an appointment of an attorney or if you're going to go out in the community and hire your own attorney.
Caballero, la pregunta que le estoy haciendo es si usted va a contratar un abogado privado o desea que se le asigne un defensor público.
Un defensor público.
Public defender, please.
All right, sir, can you tell me if you have any income?
¿Usted trabaja? ¿Tiene ingreso alguno?
Sí, tengo un negocio, un taller de mecánica.
Yes, I have a mechanic shop.
All right, can you give me an idea of your income, either hourly or weekly?
¿Cuánto gana usted semanal o quincenal o por hora?
Depende cómo esté, porque hay veces que me gano 400 como 500 a la semana. Depende cómo esté el negocio.
It just depends how business is doing. Sometimes $400 a week, sometimes $500. It just all depends on business.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. In addition to the $500 bond, though, there's to be no alcohol or non-prescription drug use.
Bien, voy a asignarle al defensor público, además de la fianza de $500, se le prohíbe utilizar alcohol o utilizar cualquier droga que no sea recetada por un médico.
Your Honor. Your Honor, this is Margaret Jones from PTR. He does qualify for PTR with no bond.
I would do that only if he's subject to random testing for both alcohol and non-prescription drugs.
Yes, ma'am, we can do that.
Okay.
Señor Cruzeta, dice la señora de libertad previa a juicio que usted califica para salir esto sin pagar fianza. Tendrá que cumplir con ciertas condiciones que ha impuesto la juez, como las pruebas de orina al azar para mostrar que no está utilizando alcohol o drogas. Es todo, gracias.
And just to confirm, that is weekly face-to-face?
Your Honor, in Osceola County, we do not do face-to-face. Everything is by telephone.
No.
Or calling system.
No. Then it will be $500 bond.
Ok, va a tener que pagar la fianza
And no
porque
alcohol
la
or
juez no
drug
está de
use.
acuerdo con la libertad previa a juicio porque no es cara a cara. Así es que $500 de fianza, no puede utilizar alcohol o drogas. Es todo.
No hay problema.
Huh? What else? The woman who was, we got to back up then, the woman who was charged with the 2 counts of petty theft. I want people to be seen face to face. It's a gauge on determining how they are doing, what they are doing, whether they're drinking, whether they're using drugs. Are you telling me there is no time in Osceola when anybody is seen face to face?
Yes, Your Honor, no one is seen face-to-face.
How are they monitored?
We have a software system that they call into, and then they can leave a message for the PTR officer, and the PTR officer can leave them a message. And we also do email, texting, and call-in system.
Well, if I'm requesting that somebody be tested for alcohol or drugs, how do you do that?
We do have our own drug lab here in Osceola County, and we send them for that, and then we do put them on a random screening.
Okay, I'll leave her case as is. I do prefer that people be seen face to face, but it sounds like you're not equipped for that.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Connie Lynn Collier?
Judge, she bonded out.
The next person I have is Fernando Delgado Rosado.
And I believe he's still, I believe he's, oh, actually he's here.
Do you need an interpreter, sir?
Yeah, he needs an interpreter, Judge.
Interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Delgado Rosado needs your services?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. I'm available.
Okay.
Señor Fernando Delgado Rosado? Yes.
All right, sir, I have the following charges in front of me, and I do find probable cause to support your arrest. The first one is an aggravated assault with a firearm.
Señor, tengo las siguientes acusaciones aquí frente a mí por la cual usted ha sido detenido y estoy hallando motivo fundado. La primera es agresión con arma mortífera. agresión agravada con arma mortífera.
Count 2 is battery.
Agresión física es el segundo cargo.
And count 3 is burglary of an automobile occupied conveyance.
El otro cargo es allanamiento de un vehículo que estaba ocupado.
Bond is set on the first count as none.
En el primer cargo no se le está imponiendo fianza.
I will set bond on that count at $2,500. No, this must be incorrect. Okay, yes, I think the first one is listed incorrectly. The first one should be 10,000. The second one, 150, and the third, 150.
La fianza en el caso estaba fijada incorrectamente. En el primer cargo la fianza es $10,000, en el segundo 150 y en el tercero 150, perdón.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Le asigno el defensor público para que le represente.
Your Honor, the state would request a no contact as well. It doesn't seem that they knew each other, but just in light of the facts.
All right, I will add no contact order.
También se le prohíbe tener contacto con la víctima.
Your Honor, this is PTR again. He does qualify for PTR. If you would like for him to be on bond with PTR, but he does qualify for just straight PTR.
If he wants to be the bonds and PTR, fine, but otherwise, no.
And Your Honor, the state would object for the record just based on the nature of the charges and what we've heard about PTR out there.
Aparentemente califica para libertad previa a juicio, pero la juez no está de acuerdo con esto.
Next case, please.
Your Honor, I do have one last
Just for
request.
clarification, is it just bond, no
Yes,
PTR
it's
conditions?
bond and no contact.
Your Honor, the state would also request no weapons or firearms.
No weapons or firearms also.
Señor Delgado, también se le prohíbe a usted utilizar armas o armas blancas. No puede tenerlas en su posesión ni utilizarlas.
Nicholas Stilvani.
He's in the hospital, Your Honor.
Okay, he's in the hospital. We'll roll him.
Yeah, can you reset him for?
Angela Elrod. Would you confirm your name, please?
Angela Elrod.
Mrs. Elrod, there is an out-of-county warrant from Brevard County. That's why you're being held. And they typically pick up within 24 hours, but they don't pick up on Saturdays or Sundays. The underlying charges were for child neglect with bodily harm, delinquency, and DUI. There were bonds set in these cases. They total $5,500. But if you don't post bond, Brevard County will come for you. That's all we're going to do for today. The next case is David Estrella.
Your Honor, he also is in the hospital.
Okay, thank you, he's in the hospital. Anybody who's in the hospital, I'll just roll till tomorrow and we'll see.
Thank you, Judge.
The next case I have is a one where Jean Carlos Feliciano Castro. Sir, would you confirm your name for the record?
Giancarlo Feliciano.
All right, sir. What I have is a violation of probation in case number 18 CF 4512, and the bond was set at $2,500. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. It looks like there may be a second case. Is there a second case? No? All right, it's just an attachment.
Your Honor, I don't see a second case, although I would advise the court that Mr. Feliciano Castro does appear to be a felony offender of special concern under the anti-murder statute.
Well, the state may have to file whatever motions they feel are appropriate, but for right now, the circuit court judge in Osceola County for the violation of probation only issued a bond of $2,500.
I understand, Your Honor. Yep.
Okay. The public defender is appointed to represent you in your VOP hearing. The next case I have is Tyler Gresham. Sir, would you confirm your name, please?
Tyler Gresham.
All right. Mr. Gresham, there appears to be some confusion. I see that there's a violation of probation supposedly out of Pinellas County, and that you have a private attorney. But there's also a small note that says the warrant was canceled, so I would tell you that honestly, I'm a little bit confused.
So I originally was on probation in Osceola County with the violation out of Pinellas. I just did 90 days time served in Pinellas County. Was then transported to Osceola on Thursday night, Friday morning, and I've hired a private attorney that is on handling both cases.
Okay, what I'm concerned about, sir, and I don't know if there's anybody who can look into this at this time, there's one line in here that says the warrant was canceled via email. Public defender, do you see that same line in the narrative? Or state, does anybody else see that same line?
I see it as well, Your Honor, yes.
I do not judge, but is that something that was issued from the actual probation officer, or is that from the circuit judge?
Is there anybody in here who could check into this for me? No. I really don't know where this came from.
Your Honor, could we potentially reset this and ask?
Why don't we roll it till tomorrow so that I can, because right now there's a no bond with awaiting transportation to Pinellas. Why don't we reset this since I see this line and see if by any chance this was canceled? I'll reset it for tomorrow. And I'm asking the state attorney to find out, because I don't have access to that information.
I'm not sure either. Your Honor, could we also ask the public defender to do the same thing? Because I'm not sure that I have that information either.
Public defender, can you hear us?
He hired a private attorney, so I'm not sure how I would have access to that information.
Yeah. Does PTR down there have any information for us?
Someone put this line in here, you know.
The only information I have is that this is an outstanding warrant for violation of probation for Osceola County. Case 2017 CF 3137.
You don't see a line that says the warrant was canceled?
I do see that, Your Honor, but I can't explain that.
Your Honor, I'm going to look on FDLE's site right now and clear this up.
All right, why don't I ask Mr. Gresham to have a seat and let the state look into this and see if we can find out in a few minutes. The next case I have is Stacy Hatmaker. Would you confirm your name, please? All right. I have in front of me a document supporting probable cause for your arrest on the charges of heroin possession, use of drug paraphernalia, and distribution of heroin. In addition, though, you were currently out on pretrial release with bond on case number 2019 CF 1995, possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. The PTR and the bond will be revoked on those cases. New bond has been set on the new case for count 1 at $2,500, count 2 for $500, and count 3 for $7,500. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. She has 2 more cases? Oh, okay. There's also a failure to appear in case number 18MM3616. It looks like the underlying charge may have been petty theft. Bond was set at $6,999. And then there is a third case introducing contraband into a detention facility, possessing a controlled substance without a prescription, and possession and use of drug paraphernalia. And again, on that case, it's a $2,500 bond for count 1, $2,500 for count 2, $500 for count 3. Public defender is appointed to represent you in all cases in which you don't already have an attorney. That's all we're going to do for today. The next case I have is Tarnika Howard. Okay, would you confirm your name for the record, please?
Tarnika Howard.
All right, you have been charged with battery. It appears to be a domestic violence situation. The alleged victim. Wait a minute, this has got to be a mistake. Tyrone Benjamin. Is anybody here to testify on behalf, any victims present?
My understanding, Judge, is they show up at the Orange County facility. They don't show up here in Osceola County. At least that's my understanding.
Okay, and we had quite a few, but the room is now empty. This case was set at no bond at this time.
Your Honor, she does qualify for PTR.
Okay, I will place her on PTR with no contact with Tyrone Benjamin.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, the public defender's appointed. The next case I have is Ahmed Kahil.
He's in the hospital, Your Honor.
All right. Roll that case over. The next case is Leonardo Lavina. All right. Sir, I find probable cause to support your arrest on the charge of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. That was heroin. Possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond on count 1 is a $2,500. Bond on count 2, $500. However, sir, you are currently out on PTR for possession of cocaine, for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. That was fentanyl. Possession and use of drug paraphernalia and tampering with evidence, and I'm revoking PTR and no bond at that time for that case. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. So we're going to do for that case today. The next case is Michael Macon.
Your Honor, he bonded.
Okay, thank you. The next case I have is Amanda Marsh.
Amanda Marsh.
All right. You have been charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, methamphetamine, MDMA, and possession and use of drug paraphernalia. I do find this probable cause to support your arrest on these charges. The bond is set on count 1 and 1,000, on count 2, 500. I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Good luck.
Your Honor, did you want to take any action on the case that she's out on bond for Orange County?
I didn't know she was. Can you tell me what the case is? We don't have that.
It's case number 2019 CF 5161, possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a controlled substance.
Okay. All right, thank you for telling me for some reason we didn't have it. Bond will be revoked at this time, and the case will be set at no bond on the CF charge in Orange County. The next case that I have is Carlos Mendez Velasquez.
We need a Spanish interpreter for him, Judge.
All right.
Carlos Mendez Velasquez.
Sí.
Sir, I find probable cause to support your arrest on the following charges. I was waiting for the interpreter.
Sorry, Your Honor. Encuentro un motivo fundado para su arresto en los siguientes cargos.
Domestic battery by strangulation,
Violencia doméstica, agresión por estrangulación,
possession or use of drug paraphernalia,
poseer y uso de adminículos para las drogas,
possession of marijuana less than 20 grams,
tenencia de marihuana menos de 20 gramos,
resisting officer without violence.
resistir a un oficial sin violencia.
On count 1, domestic battery by strangulation, there's no bond set.
En el primer cargo de violencia doméstica por estrangulación no tiene fianza fijada.
Count 2, possession or use of drug paraphernalia, bond is set at $500.
En el segundo cargo de tenencia y uso de adminículos para las drogas, la fianza es $500.
Possession of marijuana under 20 grams, bond is set at $250.
Tenencia de marihuana menos de 20 gramos, la fianza es $250.
And resisting officer without violence, bond is set at $500.
Resistir a un oficial sin violencia, la fianza es $500.
Are you seeking the services of
Your
a...
Honor?
Yes?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This is PTR. He does qualify. He meets criteria for PTR.
Absent any victim input, because the charge is domestic battery by strangulation, I would not approve telephone PTR at this time.
Aparentemente está diciendo ahí la persona de libertad previa juicio que usted calificaría para ser puesto en libertad de esta manera. La juez no está de acuerdo porque no tenemos la información, la víctima no está presente para dar su opinión al respecto.
There's nothing further that we're going to do today on this case, but the public defender is appointed.
Se le ha asignado el defensor público. Nada más que vamos a hacer en este caso hoy día.
The state would request no contact as well as no weapons or firearms.
Well, there is no bond set at this time,
Oh, yes,
so
of course, yep.
have a seat. Yes, the public defender is appointed.
Se asigna el defensor público. Tome asiento.
I hope you're looking into this one. Do you need to come up and pull the sheet? Are
I
you
have
look-
been, Your Honor. From what I can tell, it looks as if he was...
I just want you to look into it while I
Sure.
continue.
No,
That's
I
all.
already did.
The next person is Nicole Nazario. Ma'am, would you confirm your name, please?
My name is Nicole Nazario.
All right, ma'am. You're being held on out-of-county warrant. The first one is an Osceola County warrant. I don't know what the underlying charge was for. It just says no bond. The second one is an out-of-county warrant for Polk County. It doesn't tell me the nature of the charges, but it indicates total bond of $1,500. Pardon? They're both Polk County. The first one said Osceola. Oh, you're right, I'm wrong. It's Polk County. All I know is your first case, ma'am, they're both Polk County warrants. Polk County picks up in 24 hours except Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. The underlying charge, I do not know on the first one, I just know it was a felony.
That I'm serving here, will I keep this time to Polk County with me, or is this just dead time?
So there's nothing that we can do in regard to these matters. Okay?
Because of that case, yeah. Yeah, because I don't want it to be dead time.
The next case is Francisco Ortega.
Tell Polk County trying to get me as soon as possible. I want to go to Polk County.
Sir, would you please confirm your name?
Are you Francisco? Judge, Mr. Francisco Ortega Garadorm, he cannot speak, but he does understand English.
Okay.
But he's standing right next to me, and he
All
will
right.
nod, and I'll do
I
my
just
best
wanted to
do
confirm that I
physically.
was speaking with Mr. Ortega.
Yes, Judge.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Ortega, you were charged with trespass. Sir, your bond is set at $150, and I do find probable cause to support your arrest. I will appoint a public defender to represent you, sir. That's all we're going to be doing for today.
Your Honor,
Judge, the only thing I would add is that he does meet criteria for pretrial release. The only problem is he can't call in because he physically can't speak.
is he a
Consider
sign language
ROR,
interpreter by any chance?
No, he said that he wasn't in need of an interpreter. I would have gladly asked you to speak if he was in need of an interpreter.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
His
I
attorney-
was inquiring as to whether or not he needed a sign language interpreter.
Oh,
That-
did he need a sign language interpreter?
My understanding is no, Judge. He doesn't have his vocal cords.
All right.
Yeah. Would you consider, since he does meet criteria, Judge, would you consider ROR?
The reason I'm not going to do so is there is a lengthy history, including a very serious problem with alcohol. That will not prohibit him from going to the judge that will be eventually assigned to his case for any reconsideration.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
The next case I have is Scott Michael Russell. Sir, would you just confirm your name, please?
Scott Michael Russell.
All right. Sir, the reason that you are being detained at this time is that Judge Strobridge signed an arrest warrant on a charge of aggravated stalking, dating violence. It has been charged as a felony, and there is no bond at this time. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, he does have an ROR out of Brevard County.
Out of Brevard?
Yes, ma'am. It's on the front page. It's 2019 NM 33433, possession of marijuana, less than 20 grams, and he has an arraignment on July the 22nd, 2019, and that is an ROR release.
I don't know if I have any authority over Brevard. She said Brevard County possession of marijuana charge. Oh, I'm sorry, the clerk could not hear the case number. Our connection's still a little fuzzy.
It's a Brevard County case, 2019 MM 33433.
We'll make note of that, but I'm not going to address that Brevard County case. But thank you for telling us. He's an ROR on the Brevard. No, he has no bond on the aggravated stalking. The next case I have is Edison Torres Nieves. Sir, do you need an interpreter?
Oh,
Can you confirm your name, please, sir?
Edson Torres Nieves.
All right. Mr. Torres Nieves, the reason you're being held right now in Osceola is for 2 out-of-county warrants from Polk County. They did assign a bond amount. On count 1, it was $500. On count 2, it was also $500, for a total of $1,000. It appears to be that you failed to appear in Polk County on charges related to cannabis and drug paraphernalia. If you don't post bond, Polk County will pick you up, but they only pick up within 24 hours, but not on Saturdays or Sundays or holidays. The next case I have is Robert Trinidad. Sir, would you confirm your name, please?
Robert Trinidad.
All right, Mr. Trinidad, there is probable cause to support your arrest on the charges of driving while license is suspended and leaving the scene of an accident. Bond is set at the charge of driving while license suspended at $500, and on leaving the scene of an accident, $500. I will appoint a public defender to represent you unless you are going to hire a private attorney.
Public defender's fine.
All right, the public defender is appointed to represent you.
Your Honor, he does meet criteria for PTR.
If the 2001 Chrysler is surrendered,
Yeah, she has it.
It's already surrendered. It's set. It's home. It's rightful home.
You said it's at home.
The car, the automobile, the Chrysler, that is my mother's vehicle. She does have the vehicle in her possession, Judge.
Okay, I'll do the PTR with your understanding. You're not permitted to be in actual physical control of any motor vehicle. Any motor vehicle means even a bicycle with a motor on it. You are not to be in actual physical control of any motor vehicle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. PTR. Public defenders appointed, cannot be in actual physical control of any motor vehicle. The next case I have is Humberto Vargas Villaron.
We will need a Spanish interpreter, Judge.
All right.
Diga su nombre, por favor.
Heriberto Vargas.
Heriberto Vargas.
All right. Sir, you have two cases.
Señor, usted tiene dos casos.
You have been just charged with operating a motor vehicle without having a valid license,
Se le acusa de manejar un vehículo de motor sin licencia válida.
and I do find a factual basis for that charge,
Encuentro motivo fundado para esta acusación.
and bond is set at $500.
La fianza es $500.
Probable cause to support your arrest.
Hay motivo fundado para su arresto.
In addition, sir, you have a failure to appear warrant
También usted tiene una orden de arresto por fallar a comparecer
on a case 2016 CT 2653.
en el caso 2016 CD 2653.
On that failure to appear, bond has been set at $250.
En el caso donde usted falló en comparecer, la fianza ha sido fijada en $250.
I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
Le asigno el defensor público para que le represente.
And Your Honor, he does have an immigration hold, detainer warrant.
We'll note that for the record also. Thank you.
Señor Vargas también está siendo detenido de parte de inmigración. Tiene una orden de detención para que esté en cuenta.
All right, sir. The next case I have is Pauline Vitalis. Would you confirm your name, please?
Pauline Vitalis.
Ms. Vitalis, I do find probable cause to support your arrest on the charge of petty theft. Bond has been set at $250. In addition, there's to be no return to Walmart. I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
And Your Honor, she does meet criteria for PTR, direct PTR.
Okay, I will put her on PTR with no return to Walmart. Okay, the next case I have is Vascone Walker. Sir, would you confirm your name, please?
Rashawn Walker.
Mr. Walker, I find probable cause to support your arrest on the following charges. aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, grand theft auto, resisting officer without violence. On count 1, bond has been set at $5,000. Count 2, $2,500. Count 3, $500. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Just for the record, Your Honor, he does meet criteria for direct PTR.
Well, thank you for telling me, but I'm leaving the bond amounts as is. The next case I have is Scott Taylor. Well, this is the one that we've already, did you confirm anything yet, State? We've called him up before.
Sure. For Mr. Gresham's case, Your Honor, I found that.
Oh, I have the same thing for a Scott Taylor.
Oh, jeez.
Let
All
me
right.
give you both of them, so you can check both. Mr. Taylor, you're in the same situation as that other gentleman. And I want to find out what is going on in both cases. This could just be a mistake, but we'll call you back in a few minutes. Do you want to come up and get these?
Sure.
Todd Clark. Is there a Mr. Todd?
Bonded, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
He bonded, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. William Lepre.
Judge, can you, he refused, Judge, so can we reset that for Monday?
You want it reset for Monday?
Or tomorrow.
Counsel, what would you prefer?
Go ahead and set it for tomorrow, Judge.
All right, we'll set it for tomorrow. I have the next case, Tabitha, forgive me for mispronouncing, Obanga Martin?
Judge, he refused. Can you set it for Sunday?
All right, we'll roll this till tomorrow also. The next case I have is Migdol Ponteos Perez. Sir, would you just confirm your name, please?
Miguel Pantoja.
All right, sir, the reason you're being held at this time is because it's alleged that you violated your probation in case number 16 CF 2012, and your judge indicated that there be no bond at this time. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in that case, sir. The next case is Jesus Manuel Wilkerson.
He refused, Your Honor.
All right, should we roll him till tomorrow?
Yes, Judge.
All right. We're just waiting for the state to check the
Sure.
two, where I don't know if that's some kind of typographical error or,
Your Honor, I have information from Mr. Gresham's case. I'm still looking at Mr. Taylor's at the moment.
all right, would you bring Mr. Gresham's file back up to me and tell me what you've learned? All right, were you able to find out in regard to Mr. Gresham?
All right, so, Your Honor, Mr. Gresham mentioned that he had a case out of Pinellas County. What I was able to find is that apparently he had a warrant out because he pled to a case in Pinellas County which violated his probation here, or I should say rather in Osceola County. I also found a court date for the VOP status with, I believe it was Judge Tynan, for July the 10th. So it does appear that there was a warrant there. Mr. Taylor's I'm still looking up.
Okay, but do you know why this note was here? Is it just an error?
I can't find anything on it, but it does appear that, that he is in VOP status. I confirm the case has been reopened from that.
Okay, sir, you do have a private attorney, and the state has been able to determine that your case is set for the violation of probation hearing on July 10th. I will tell you that I don't understand the little note that's typed on here, but he did confirm that the case has been set for hearing for violation of probation on July the 10th. So please make sure that your attorney is aware of that, okay? And we're just waiting on the last note on that other person. Pardon? I would have brought my stamp. Counsel, were you able to find anything?
I can find plenty of cases for him out of Orange County, but I can't find this specific case number either in the Osceola County clerk's office or ours, for that matter. I just don't know, Your Honor. I've not seen that before.
Would you bring the document back up to me? I don't know if there's anyone else who can provide us any further information. Attorney McBride, do you want to bring the document back to me? All right, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand what the last few words mean on this charging document, but it does appear from the only thing that we do have that there is a felony warrant for a violation of probation where the underlying charge appears to have been battery on law enforcement and something else that's a little difficult to read. Do you know if you've been set for a hearing at this time?
I have been served for a hearing. This is first appearance. I've been to 3 of them already for the same violation of probation. My understanding is that I had to get transferred back here to Osceola because this is my original charge, and I was supposed to have the papers served within 24 hours, and I didn't have those served within 24 hours. I've had 3 initial appearances on the same case, like I said, in Osceola, and I don't know what's going on.
Your Honor, I was able to find the case number out of Osceola, but I can't see any additional information. I just see that they have received a violation of probation.
Osceola it is your case. Can you not tell me anything? 18 CF 1462?
Yes, Judge. Osceola County looked into it, and I think she has an answer now.
Your Honor, this is an added charge on a VOP for battery on a law enforcement officer, and he has a zero bond, and he's set for court with Judge Tynan on July the 10th as for a VOP status hearing.
All right, thank you. At least the mystery is now cleared up. The way that this is typed up is very confusing.
Why is, I'm supposed to see a judge within 24 hours though, and why do we keep adding it?
Sir, I would tell you not, at this point, I would not say anything. You are being recorded. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. They are showing a hearing is scheduled for July 10th, 2019 in front of Judge Tynan.
What's the date on that, ma'am?
July 10th, 2019. The public defender is appointed to represent you, but at least they were able to clear up the confusion. There's nothing further
So
we can
can
do
you tell
today,
me-
sir. There's no
Can you
bond
just tell
on
me
it.
what
It says battery on a law enforcement officer, sir. Violation of probation on battery on a law enforcement officer. There's nothing further, sir, that I can provide you. I am appointing the public defender to represent you.
Thank you very much, man. Have a great day.
All right. Osceola, I guess until tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Hopefully, we won't have any system